Chapter 3903. It's no use talking to me. This is our family's decision. When you ran out and lived in his house, Dad almost had a heart attack. Yinshu was almost beaten because of you. We've done enough for you. We've interfered in your affairs because we love you. I know, but I'm an adult. So, you asked me to come here to persuade your family? Wei Ying nodded with tears in her eyes. I still hope that Hui Yinyan is dead and this will be the end of it. You should talk to Dad and your second brother. I really can't make the decision. Jiang Xiaowei was a bit angry at Wei Ying's muddleheadedness. So, she got up and left after a few words. After Jiang Xiaowei left, Wei Ying packed up and drove to Shen Mingxi's house. Sure enough, Shen Mingxi wasn't at the company and was still at home. He wasn't in a good state. He had drunk some wine and smelled like it. Miss Wei, the housekeeper, saw Wei Ying and immediately greeted her. Is he home? Mr. Shen is upstairs. Okay. When Wei Ying entered the study, Shen Mingxi was reading a pile of documents on his desk. Big brother Mingxi. Shen Mingxi looked up. Ying, you're here. I called your secretary, and she said you didn't go to the company, Wei Ying said as she walked in and put her Chanel bag on the desk. She glanced at the files and saw they were files on some foreign schools. She felt sad. Big brother Mingxi, that thing. Ying, let's not talk about that. Shen Mingxi felt that he hadn't adjusted his mentality yet, so he interrupted Wei Ying when she was about to talk about Hui Yinyan. My second brother called you? Oh, he did. Shen Mingxi lowered his head and tried to look calm. Big brother Mingxi, I'm sorry. Maybe my family pushed you too hard. No, I understand their concerns. I told my sister-in-law that I won't push you anymore. I want to be with you, no matter how much I suffer or what happens in the future. I don't care. Wei Ying put her hand on Shen Mingxi's shoulder. Shen Mingxi raised his hand and held Wei Ying's. Don't worry, leave it to me. Little Ying, I'll take care of it. Big brother Mingxi, are you going to... Wei Ying was alarmed. She even wondered if Shen Mingxi would do something to Tian Tian. While the two of them were talking, Tian Tian walked to the door again. Anyway, Ying, I bought it for you when I went to the supermarket yesterday. I thought it would look good on you. Tian Tian walked over and handed a hairband to Wei Ying. Wei Ying took the hairband uncomfortably. You'll definitely look beautiful wearing it. My classmates' mothers all have them. She smiled sweetly. Tian Tian, you go out first. I need to talk to Annie Wei Ying. Shen Mingxi seemed to want to send the child away. I also have something to tell you. Tian Tian looked at Wei Ying and then at Shen Mingxi. Wei Ying was slightly surprised. She looked at the child, not knowing what to do. Then you go first. Shen Mingxi looked at the child gently. After Hua Yinyan's death, he had treated her better than before. Shen Mingxi was even nicer to Tian Tian than before. Perhaps it was because he pitied her because she had lost her mother. Uncle Shen, Annie Wei Ying, I want to study in another city. I want to leave this place and leave you for a while. Chapter 3904. Tian Tian. Shen Mingxi felt bad. Uncle Shen, I've secretly looked at the information on your desk. You've been choosing schools for me, both at home and abroad. They're all super expensive and have good environments. I know you want to send me to continue my studies. Tian Tian can't continue to stay by Uncle Shen's side. Shen Mingxi was speechless because Tian Tian was right. After dealing with Hui Yinyan, he was indeed thinking about Tian Tian. If it were before, he would have insisted on keeping the child with him. After all, raising a child wasn't a big deal to him. But now, Wei Ying had confessed that she wanted to remarry him. The Wei family's only request was to deal with the child left by Hui Yinyan. Shen Mingxi admitted that he was selfish and couldn't let go of Wei Ying. After Hua Yinyan's death, he didn't have a good attitude toward Tian Tian. So, he had been thinking about where to send her. He had considered overseas, such as the United States, England, Canada, and Japan. But after the experience in Singapore, Shen Mingxi was worried that the child wouldn't be used to living abroad. So, he hadn't thought about it. But today, Tian Tian took the initiative to talk about it. Anyway, Ying, I really understand, but can I ask for one thing? Don't send me abroad. I'm not used to a foreign language and environment. The skin color is different in Europe, and I can't be friends with the kids there. I want to stay in China and go to Jing City. I've read some information about schools, and I like Jing City Normal University affiliated elementary school very much. It's a closed management system, and you can take extra classes during the winter and summer vacations, and you'll be taken care of. Although the tuition is a bit expensive, it's not cheap to go abroad. Jing City isn't far from home, and it's our capital. I want to go there, live a good life, study hard, and repay Uncle Shun's kindness to me when I grow up. The child said so much in one breath. Obviously, she wasn't improvising. She had a purpose, or she had been preparing for this for a long time. Hearing Tiantian's request, not to mention Shen Mingxi, even Wei Ying felt bad. She felt that she had forced the child away. Although her mother was a jerk, she couldn't blame the child for the rest of her life. Wei Ying's heart ached when she heard that. Big brother Mingxi, why don't we let Tian go? It's good for her to live with us. She has a nanny to take care of her, and it's convenient for her to go to school. It won't affect anything. I'll go back and talk to my family. My dad and my second brother aren't heartless people. We'll find a way. Wei Ying was soft-hearted. Facing a child that she thought was innocent, she didn't want to be ruthless. To her surprise, Tian immediately said, "Annie Wei Ying, don't feel bad. I know, if I don't leave, your family won't let you remarry Uncle Shun. I don't want to be an obstacle between you two. I'm just going to study abroad. It's not like I'm never coming back, right? Also, you guys are paying for my tuition and living expenses. Tian is already very good, but I don't know if my mother will come and make trouble for you after I leave." Tian mentioned her mother again. Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi didn't feel good about it. They had always thought that the child did not know that Hui Yanyan was already dead. Chapter 3905. Tian, if you're willing to stay, I'll find another way. It's okay. Uncle Shun, you're already very good to me. If it were any other man, he would have dumped me on the street. Let's just make a quick decision, okay? Uncle Shun, please help me with the paperwork. I'll leave as soon as possible, and let Annie Wei Ying come home as soon as possible. Uncle can't live without a wife. Tiantian's words moved Wei Ying and Shen Mingxi to tears. They didn't expect the kid to leave on her own. Going to a boarding school in another city was a good choice. It also met the Wei family's requirements. Shen Mingxi finally nodded. Okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Shen Mingxi didn't notice the mocking smile on Tiantian's face. Oh, by the way, Uncle Shun, should I see my mom before I leave and tell her? I'm afraid she'll pester you and Annie Wei Ying. The kid stared at the two adults with her innocent eyes. This made the two of them look very guilty. It's okay. I'll take care of it, Shen Mingxi said vaguely. Okay, you guys talk. I'll go back to my room. I haven't been to school recently and have missed a lot of homework. I wonder if the curriculum in China is the same as in Singapore? Tian said as she walked out of the study. Big brother Mingxi, she doesn't know about her mom, right? Yeah. When are you going to tell her? Wei Ying was worried. I'll find a suitable time. I'm afraid she won't be able to bear it if I tell her now. After all, she's her last family member. I'll take care of the school. After she goes to Jing City and gets used to life there, I'll tell her slowly. Okay, Ying, after what happened to us, we might not be able to hold a grand wedding with you. What are you talking about? We don't have to hold a grand wedding. I think we could go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get our marriage certificate. Wei Ying was considerate of Shen Mingxi and respected his ideas. Okay, tell me what you want. After we get married, I'll transfer half of my personal assets to you. You really don't have to do this, big brother Mingxi. Wei Ying was flattered. Shen Mingxi stood up and held Wei Ying in his arms. He gently stroked the hair in front of her forehead. Yes, it's not easy for us to be together after so many twists and turns. Whatever you want, as long as I have it, I'm willing to give it to you. I heard that Qin Chu has nothing under his name, and all of GK's assets are under Huamin's name. Huh. President Qin is famous for spoiling his wife. Everyone knows that. Wei Ying smiled. She rested her head on Shen Mingxi's shoulder and enjoyed the tranquility of this moment. MHM, I will treat you better and better in the future. I won't let you regret choosing to be with me again. Shen Mingxi kissed Wei Ying's forehead lovingly, and Tiantian's incident came to an end. Although the Wei family was unwilling, there was nothing they could do if their daughter was willing. Shun Mingxi and Wang remarried on the 5th day after Tian Tian left for school. He didn't invite anyone, nor did he hold a banquet. However, the two of them went to the Civil Affairs Bureau in a low-key manner to get a new marriage certificate. After returning, the two of them went to the supermarket to buy vegetables and went home to eat hot pot. It could be said that they were quite low-key. Late at night, Su, you had a nightmare. In the nightmare, Huamin was covered in blood. Mian, hang in there. Hang in there. Su, you go, don't worry about me. Huamin seemed to have used up all of his strength. Mian, Su Yu yelled and woke up from the dream with a throbbing pain in his head. For some reason, he seemed to have been having frequent nightmares recently. Looking at his phone, he saw that it was 2 a.m. and it was pitch dark outside. Damn it, it's been so weird lately. I feel like something is going to happen. Su Yu murmured to himself in a half-awake state. Chapter 3906. After Su Yu woke up, he could no longer fall asleep. He was a good sleeper, but this was the 3rd time he had nightmares recently. And it was all about Huamin. If it was during the day, Su Yu would have called Huamin immediately. However, it was midnight, and he couldn't ask him. So he got up and went downstairs. He walked to the fridge and took out a can of ice Coke. Then, he turned on the TV and drank it on the sofa. And didn't sleep well either. When he heard that his boss was awake, he immediately came out of the room on the 1st floor. What did he think? President Su, are you okay? I'm fine. I just had a nightmare. Huh? You dreamed of a ghost? And his words almost made Su Yu spit out the Coke in his mouth. You look like a ghost to me. Su Yu was speechless. Then what did you dream of? Tell me. My grandma used to tell me that if you have a good dream, you can't say it because something good is going to happen. If you say it, it won't happen. However, if you have a nightmare, you must say it, and then the bad luck will be broken. Really? Su Yu looked at him suspiciously. Although the traditions of the older generation are a little superstitious, many people still worship them. Do you believe me? If you do, tell me. Under Anne's persuasion, Su Yu carefully recalled the nightmares he had in the past. It seemed that the scenes were similar every time and were a little blurry. It's like that. Mian and I were in a big forest, being chased by someone. That's what it meant. Then, we were both injured. Mian was covered in blood and lying on the ground. She told me to leave first, and then, at this point, Su Yu couldn't continue. Although it was a dream, it was too real. Therefore, he didn't want to say anything bad about Huamin. However, and could basically guess. Otherwise, Su Yu wouldn't have been so frightened. So, in your dream, you and President Hua went to play PUBG? PUBG. Su Yu was stunned. It's a very popular sniper game recently. Su Yu, forget it, President Su. Don't let your imagination run wild. This scenario definitely won't work. I think it's because too many things have happened recently and you're under too much pressure. Or maybe you put your hand on your chest when you were sleeping and had this dream. Think about it. President Hua is about to give birth. She's not even working anymore. She's just waiting for delivery at home. Why would she go to the forest? Besides, who would dare to chase after you and President Hua? Yeah, I don't think it can happen either. It's just that the dream was too realistic. After I woke up, I didn't feel too good either. So you picked up the cola again and took a big gulp. So, a dream is just a dream. Don't take it seriously. It's late. Go and get some rest. Tomorrow is the 2nd round of the dance. That's right. I wonder how that wretched girl's preparations are going. If it hadn't mentioned it, so you would have forgotten about it. In addition to working in the company during the day and persuading Wei Liao at night, Su Yu had been helping Su Xiao with the paperwork to join the army in the Northwest. He was so busy that he forgot about the 2nd round of the dance. They were both in the company, but they hadn't seen each other. Meanwhile, overseas, Jack knelt on the ground as the masked woman threw a pink pill to the ground. She ordered in a contemptuous tone, "Swallow it." "Young madam, don't worry. It won't kill you. It's not poison. I just want to see Hua Xiqian," the masked woman said with a smile. Chapter 3907. Hee, young master, it's not like that. Didn't you say, "I'll be Jack forever"? Jack didn't want Hua Xiqian to come out. If he did, he would be imprisoned in the depths of his soul again. So, do you want to die? Or do you want to hide for a while? The masked girl's tone was gentle even when she threatened him. But this gentleness was obviously accompanied by a strong smell of blood. Young master, let's talk about it. Crack. The masked girl ran out of patience. She took out a black pistol and pointed it at Jack's head. Don't make me repeat myself. I said swallow it. Okay, don't be impulsive. I'll take it. Jack was still very cowardly in the face of death. He was different from Hua Xiqian because Hua Xiqian wasn't afraid of death, but he was afraid of death. Or rather, he didn't want to die at all. Not daring to continue disobeying, Jack took out the pink pill and swallowed it in one gulp in front of the masked girl. Then his consciousness blurred and he slowly fell to the ground. He had been here for a long time, but he hadn't found anything. He had no idea who these people were, nor did he know where they were. Zheng Ro was still imprisoned in the dungeon and was on the verge of a mental breakdown. But no order had been given to kill or release her. So Jack had been on standby all this time. 5 minutes later, the man lying on the ground slowly opened his eyes. The look in his eyes was obviously different from Jack's. If he was in front of others, Jack might play some tricks. For example, he would hide the pill under his tongue and pretend to be Hua Xiqian. But he didn't dare to do that in front of the masked girl. This woman was so scary that she seemed to be able to see through everything. If his little trick was exposed, even the king of hell wouldn't be able to save him. So this time, it was really Hua Xiqian who woke up. Long time no see, Mr. Hua. The masked girl's Chinese pronunciation was very accurate. It even made people suspect that she was a native Chinese. It's you? Hua Xiqian vaguely remembered seeing this woman once. However, he had really slept for too long, so his reaction was not that fast. Your brother Jack has occupied your body for a long time. And you? How was your sleep? Did you sleep enough? Cut the crap. What do you want? Hua Xiqian hated women. He hated all women except for Hua Min. Therefore, when facing these women, his temper was very bad. He was not a gentleman at all. Mr. Hua, you shouldn't treat Hua Min like this. I want you to treat me as gently as your little sister. You think you're worthy? Hua Xiqian sneered. But before he could finish laughing, he was kicked in the stomach by the woman. Then, he was sent flying a few meters away. In the end, he slammed into the cold European-style wall. He fell to the ground and vomited blood. Pain came from his chest. Compared to Jack, you are indeed very rude. The girl sat on the sofa and crossed her legs, looking very imposing. Hua Xiqian didn't say anything. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and slowly got up. You're so boring. You can always easily provoke my anger. How about this? I'll let you watch a short video. Consider it as a way to satisfy your cravings. The masked girl picked up the tiny remote in her hand and gently pressed it. A familiar scene appeared on the 100-inch super-large TV. Hua Min was wearing a cute beige dress, but it was actually maternity clothes. She had a wine-red cashmere shawl draped over her shoulders. She was strolling in a baby supermarket with a stroller. Seeing Hua Min's figure, Hua Xiqian's eyes instantly became as gentle as water. Mian. His voice was very hoarse. Chapter 3908. You're indeed infatuated. You're already like this just by looking at her. The masked woman's eyes were full of sarcasm as she smiled. However, Hua Xiqian didn't care about what she said. Instead, he stared at the TV without blinking. He stared at Hua Min. He hadn't seen her in a long time. It seemed like she was about to give birth. Her belly was so big, and it seemed like she was choosing clothes for the baby. Do you miss your little sister Mian? The masked woman approached Hua Xiqian step by step and reached out to put her hand on his shoulder. However, he didn't react at all. All his attention was on Hua Min. Do you want to see her, huh? You're not allowed to touch her, or I'll kill you. Hua Xiqian suddenly turned around and threw a punch at the woman. The masked woman reacted quickly and dodged it. Then, she punched Hua Xiqian in the stomach. Feeling the pain, he bent over, his eyebrows furrowed. Ha! Nothing's happened yet, and you're already so nervous. If you see Hua Min being abused with your own eyes, won't your expression be very interesting? Upon hearing the woman's words, Hua Xiqian ignored the pain and rushed up again. However, the woman pressed him down with her leg. This woman's explosive strength was so strong that even the agile Huasiqian was no match for her. In fact, Huasiqian was already very skilled. He once fought with Suyu one-on-one and didn't lose badly. After all, Suyu was a special forces soldier. Therefore, it could only be said that the masked woman in front of him was too strong. Her physical fitness was so abnormal that it was inhuman. "Why are you so agitated?" "I'm fine, right? Don't touch me on." Huasiqian could only think of this sentence over and over in his mind. "But your little sister Mion wants to kill you. You must know that if my men hadn't saved you in time, you wouldn't have been able to escape from Sea City. You would have been killed by Liu Yan. It was me who gave you a chance to start over. So what? No matter who it is, they can't hurt her. Looks like you're really crazy. Compared to you, Jack is more obedient." Huasiqian's back was pressed down by the masked woman's leg, making him feel as if there was a jack on his body. He couldn't get up. "How about this? Forget about your little sister Mion from now on and be with me. I just happen to need a boy toy. Go to hell. You have quite a backbone. How about this? Since I'm in a good mood today, I'll give you some benefits. I'll let you see what I look like, okay? That's something your brother Jack isn't qualified to see." "Not interested," Huasiqian replied coldly. "You haven't tried it yet. How do you know you're not interested?" The masked woman seemed to be interested. Teasing Huasiqian was much more fun than teasing Jack. Perhaps it was because he didn't give in that the woman wanted to conquer him. Then, the woman turned off the TV, and Huamin's figure disappeared without a trace. Huasiqian was furious. He stood up and was about to fight the woman to the death. Suddenly, he saw her face without the mask. "Qian, take a look. Take a good look. Do I look good?" The masked woman smiled as she took off her mask and said to Huasiqian. His first reaction was that his mind went blank. He felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He was shocked, extremely shocked. "Impossible. This is absolutely impossible," Huasiqian muttered to himself. Chapter 3909. On the day when the second round of Han Yuiao's dance allure began, a large group of people waited in front of the TV to watch the live broadcast. Even Han Yuiao's parents were invited from the distant Jing City to watch the live broadcast. They seemed to be promoting the show in the dressing room. Her partner hadn't arrived yet. "Yao, your partner isn't here yet. Do you have his WeChat? Ask him what's going on." Her agent was anxious, afraid that the guy would delay Han Yuiao. After all, the two of them were a team. He won't be late. This show is so influential that it won't do him any good if he's late. "Okay, then you could do your makeup first." While she was doing her makeup, Han Yuiao got up and went to the washroom. She ran into Ding Lan, a female star of dance allure. Ding Lan was a rising star of Fonda Company and had been a hot star in the past 2 years. She had starred in a few idol dramas and appeared on some second-tier reality shows, so she had accumulated a lot of fans. She looked especially pure and innocent, like an obedient girl. Han Yuiao had a good impression of her because she had watched her show. So, she greeted her. "You're here." However, Ding Lan didn't care about money at all and acted as if she didn't hear her, which made Han Yuiao feel awkward. However, something even more embarrassing happened. When Ding Lan walked out of the washroom, she didn't know if she did it on purpose or not. She fell in Han Yuiao's direction. Ding Lan's whole body fell heavily on Han Yuiao. Caught off guard, Han Yuiao was pushed to the ground. In the end, she was used as a thick human cushion. Ding Lan was lying on top of her and was fine. But Han Yuiao's foot was fiercely twisted. Immediately, she felt a tingling pain. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Are you okay?" Ding Lan immediately got up and reached out to pull Han Yuiao up. Enduring the pain, Han Yuiao got up without speaking and looked down to check her injury. Instantly, her left ankle turned red and swollen. She was so unlucky. After all, she was going to be on the show. "Ouch, your ankle is red. I'll call 120 to take you to the hospital." "No, it's nothing." Han Yuiao wasn't stupid. If she called 120 and left, then she would forfeit this round. Also, his partner, Yuan Bo, would be involved. Yuan Bo's fans would curse him to death, wouldn't they? But you're injured. A foot injury is not a small matter. If it's not treated in time, it'll be serious. I've encountered such things before when I was filming. Don't worry, I'll pay for your medical expenses. You'd better go and have a look. Ding Lon tried to persuade him hypocritically. She couldn't take it anymore. You want me to withdraw so badly? I'm just a newbie. There's really no need for you to do this, right? What are you talking about? I don't understand. I didn't do it on purpose. I apologize. I admit my mistake. I also said that I'll pay for your treatment. Ding Lon looked like a wrong daughter-in-law. If she hadn't been smart enough to see through her trick, she would have been fooled by her pitiful look. I don't want to go to the hospital. I will continue participating in the competition. Then she stood up, pushed Ding Lon aside, and limped out of the washroom. Behind her, Ding Lon looked at her and smiled slightly. Of course, she won't be eliminated, but she'll have one less opponent if she's eliminated. Han Yueyao isn't scary, but Yuan Bo, with tens of millions of fans, is. She can't do anything to Yuan Bo, so she came up with this plan. Han Yueyao, Yuan Bo, get ready. You're next, the director ordered. Ouch. My goodness. Why are you so late? My goodness. What happened to your ankle? Her agent was scared to death when she saw her ankle. Chapter 39:10. Enduring the pain, Han Yueyao replied, I got hurt by accident. My goodness. Why did you get hurt at this moment? Can you still dance? Yes. Han Yueyao sounded very determined. No. If you insist on dancing, you'll be seriously disabled. How about this? I'll tell the program crew that we'll ask for leave and go to the hospital. Her agent was about to go to the program crew. Don't go. I really can do it. Han Yueyao was very stubborn. Anyway, she couldn't miss the rare opportunity Suyu had given her. She couldn't drag her friend Yuan Bo down with her. At this moment, Yuan Bo arrived with his entourage. Yuan Bo's agent didn't like Han Yueyao and thought she got in because of her connections. If you're ready, go. Don't waste time. Yuan Bo's agent urged Han Yueyao. So, they were led to the entrance of the stage by the program crew. Yuan Bo looked down and saw Han Yueyao's ankle was swollen. Damn it. Can you do it? Will you die on the stage? Don't worry. I won't. Han Yueyao gritted her teeth. Yuan Bo was about to say something when the host announced, Let's welcome Bo Yao Duo with the warmest applause. Han Yueyao and Yuan Bo walked onto the stage hand in hand. Today, they chose the tango. They all knew the range of the tango was big, and if they couldn't keep up with the rhythm, they might embarrass themselves. Perhaps Han Yueyao had underestimated her injury. Normally, she could endure the pain of walking, but when it came to dancing, the strength was simply worse than death. After dancing a few times, she felt she couldn't go on. But the audience was far away and couldn't see anything. But Yuan Bo, who had his arm around Han Yueyao's waist, saw the sweat on her forehead. Damn it. Are you in pain? What should we do? Maybe stop dancing. They took the opportunity to whisper to each other. I'm fine. Let's continue. Han Yueyao said the words with great difficulty. She gritted her teeth and endured it. Unfortunately, she made a mistake in the most difficult move. She spun 360 degrees gracefully on the spot and tilted down to be caught by Yuan Bo. But when she spun, her feet were in extreme pain. Therefore, when he leaned down, it was too early for Yuan Bo to react. She fell to the ground. The audience and the judges were all shocked and speechless. Yuan Bo was dumbfounded. He hurried to help her up. Gritting her teeth, she finished the last few steps. Finally, the music stopped and they bowed to the audience. Before she could speak, Yuan Bo explained, I'm sorry, everyone. My partner's foot was seriously injured before she went on the stage. But to not disappoint you, she insisted on going on the stage. That's why she made a small mistake. We apologize for our mistake. But please give this stubborn girl a round of applause for her professionalism. After Yuan Bo finished speaking, everyone knew what had happened. Thunderous applause broke out without any explanation. Embarrassed, Han Yueyao bowed deeply to them. Then Yuan Bo took her hand and walked to the back of the stage. When they were removing her makeup in the dressing room, Yuan Bo asked her, How did you injure your foot? Having been in the entertainment industry for years, Yuan Bo knew this too well. How could it be so coincidental that she got injured before she went on the stage? Someone must have done it on purpose. Chapter 39:11. Han Yueyao didn't speak. She picked up a cotton pad and wiped off the makeup on her face. If you don't tell me, I'll get someone to take down the surveillance cameras. Don't. I don't want people to say it's a publicity stunt. Han Yueyao stopped him in time. Then tell me who did it. Han Yueyao fell silent. Han Yueyao, I don't care about you. I just want to know if we can make it to the next round. After all, we're in the same team and we're bound together. You're so selfish that you didn't tell me anything. You even made a mistake just now. Don't you know we're likely to be eliminated? I'm sorry. Han Yueyao lowered her head and apologized to Yuan Bo. I don't want to hear your apology. Who did it? Yuan Bo wouldn't let it go. It was Ding Lan. She slipped and fell on me in the washroom. Han Yueyao explained calmly. Hearing her words, Yuan Bo slammed the door and left without a word. Sitting in the chair, Han Yueyao had mixed feelings. The entertainment industry is indeed dirty, isn't it? This is just the beginning. Han Yueyao murmured to herself. In fact, she wasn't worried that she would be framed again and again. Instead, she was worried that she would lose her mind one day and become a woman like Ding Lan, who framed others. Ding Lan and a famous male star were in the same team, and it wasn't their turn to go on the stage yet. So, they sat in a lounge and drank tea while watching the performances of the contestants. When Yuan Bo pushed open the door and entered, Ding Lan was talking and laughing with the male star. Seeing Yuan Bo enter, she froze for a moment and then said with a smile, You danced well, Bo, come out. Yuan Bo tried to sound as calm as possible. You want to see me? Ding Lan stood up with a smile. They weren't strangers and had added each other on WeChat for a long time, but they didn't talk much. Ding Lan liked to mingle with rich people and directors and didn't have much to do with male stars. Yuan Bo, on the other hand, liked to sleep with newcomers, so they didn't interfere with each other. Ding Lan was called out by Yuan Bo, and they came to a quiet corner. What's the matter? Ding Lan lowered her head and fiddled with her manicured nails. Did you hurt Han Yueyao? I said I didn't do it on purpose. I fell down and got hurt too. With that, Ding Lan rolled up her sleeves to show Yuan Bo the bruise under her elbow. This woman was indeed ruthless. In order to harm others, she did not hesitate to injure herself. Stop acting in front of me. Other people might believe you, but I don't. You're afraid that Han Yueyao will threaten you, right? Haha, are you joking? She's just a newcomer. How could she be a threat to me? Bo, you've been in the industry for quite some time now. Can you not be so childish? Yuan Bo sneered. It's true that she's a newcomer, but she has a lot of resources. Everyone knows she has Suyu behind her. I advise you to be careful. Don't go for wool and come home shorn. Besides, if you hurt her, you'll hurt me. If our group is eliminated, I won't let you off, Ding Lan. I'm curious. She's not your girl. Why are you so worried about her? Even if her leg is broken, the show will find a new partner for you. You won't be affected. So, mind your own business, young man. I'm going to interfere in Han Yueyao's business. Don't talk nonsense with me. Let's wait and see. Leaving the threatening words, Yuan Bo turned to leave. Ding Lan rolled her eyes at Yuan Bo's back. Do you fucking think you can scare me? Little boy, do you think you can threaten me? Why don't you look at yourself in the mirror? The live stream finally ended. With her injury, Han Yueyao sat backstage and didn't want to go to the hospital. When the judges announced the results, Han Yueyao had a bad feeling. Chapter 39:12. Yuan Bo and Han Yueyao, I'm sorry. You've worked hard and Yao Yao is injured, but a mistake is a mistake. We must treat the other contestants fairly. So today, you're in the pending group. Okay, thank you, teacher. Han Yueyao bowed modestly and accepted the judge's decision. However, this also meant that there would be an elimination round next week. They would have to PK with the teams that had yet to be determined on the first day. If they lost, they'd say goodbye to the dance stage forever. If they won, they'd go further. After the results were announced, Ding Lan smiled slightly. Good. This was the effect she wanted. After the live show, Yuan Bo and Han Yueyao walked out. I'm really sorry to drag you into this. If you feel sad, why don't you change your partner? Han Yueyao thought she had indeed harmed the interests of her group. Yuan Bo was very popular, but unfortunately, he was on the pending group. His fans must be furious. Are you done? Yuan Bo looked at her calmly. Yes. Then let's go to the hospital. Then Yuan Bo pulled Han Yueyao out. After a few steps, he saw her leg was injured and carried her up. He lifted Han Yueyao up in his arms and carried her like a princess. Many people were stupefied by his action. Whoa, what's going on? They're acting together. This isn't a dating show. Yeah, Yuan Bo seems to treat Han Yueyao well. Isn't Han Yueyao injured? I guess Yuan Bo is doing this out of concern for her as a friend. Yuan Bo likes to flirt with new actresses. What's so strange about that? The stars of the other groups began to talk about it in private. Fortunately, Yuan Bo wasn't stupid. He carried her out through the back door and got into the nanny van. Then he drove her to the first hospital for a checkup. Then, Han Yueyao's agent and assistant arrived. Su Yu and Imperial Star both learned about it. Han Yueyao, take care of yourself. Don't worry about the competition. At worst, our group will withdraw from the competition. It's not a big deal. With that, Yuan Bo was pulled away by his agent. Han Yueyao had mixed feelings. She felt guilty, but more than that, she felt discouraged. Yes, she was a little discouraged after encountering the first difficulty. She didn't know how many Dinglands she would meet in the future. The orthopedic doctor examined her carefully. Su Yu drove over. President Su, Han Yueyao's agent, greeted him. How is she? The doctor said she was seriously injured. If she hadn't been sent here in time, she might have been disabled. Seriously injured? If she knows she's injured, why didn't she come to the hospital? Is she out of her mind? Su Yu, President Su, I tried to talk her out of it, but she's very stubborn. She didn't listen to me. You know her temper. I think she didn't want to let you down and miss such a good opportunity, so she took it. Where is she? She's in the room. With a straight face, Yueyao, Lon looked. Which was more important, her health or her health? How could an adult like Han Yueyao fail to tell the difference? Su Yu stormed into the room in fury. When he saw Han Yueyao, he was stunned. Chapter 39:13. Wearing a hospital gown and no makeup, Han Yueyao looked a little pale. Her long curly hair was scattered as she leaned against the hospital bed. She was holding a video call with her cell phone. I'm fine. It's just a small injury. My company is very good to me. Look, after the live broadcast, they sent me to the hospital for a checkup. Although I've been suspended, I won't be hated. I still have one last chance next week. Haha, don't worry. I'll work hard and won't give up easily. I heard it's snowing in Jing City. Yao, do you want to eat anything? I'll send some to you. I want to eat Mom's dumplings, but they'll spoil when you send them to me. Haha, so I plan to ask for leave from my boss after this competition, no matter if I advance or get eliminated. I'll go back to see you guys. Mom, you have to make dumplings for me. Okay. I'll wait for you. Your dad has been worried about you. He's going to buy a ticket to see you. The original plan was for the show to invite Han Yueyao's parents backstage to watch their daughter compete and put on a family drama for the audience. But at the last moment, Han Yueyao didn't agree. She didn't want to rely on hype and entertainment as soon as she debuted. So, she refused the show's request. Han Yueyao's parents must be upset when they saw their daughter get injured on TV and was suspended. At the hospital, Han Yueyao turned on the video call and talked to her parents so they wouldn't worry about her. Don't worry about me. My boss is a good person. He's been taking good care of me. After hanging up, Han Yueyao looked sideways at Su Yu and smiled. Good thing I didn't say anything bad about you. Otherwise, you'd have heard everything. Are you still in pain? He had wanted to scold her, but when he saw the warm girl who was talking to her parents on the video call, he couldn't help it. Su Yu suddenly couldn't bear it and couldn't say anything. In fact, he couldn't even crack a joke. Instead, he looked very serious. It hurts. It hurts so much. Ha! I'm sorry, President Su. I've really embarrassed Imperial Star this time. I fell down just like that. It's so ugly. It's not embarrassing. You tried your best. Fortunately, you were sent here in time. Otherwise, your leg would be crippled. Do you understand? Are you all right now? Thank goodness. Han Yueyao smiled. You'd better avoid this kind of lucky event in the future. Listen carefully, the competition is not important. Star King has many ways to promote artists. Apart from Dancing Allure, there are many variety shows that invite our artists. This one won't make a difference. Don't work so hard and even disregard your own health. President Su, you're so serious that I almost have an illusion that you're a very gentle and good boss. Don't talk nonsense. Su said angrily and then sat down in front of her bed. She picked up the fruit knife and the apple, peeling it without any interest. Tell me, what's wrong with your foot? Su lowered his head and asked casually while peeling an apple. I'm fine. I just got injured and fell down. How did you fall down? Su asked. I was in the washroom and tell me the truth. Otherwise, I'll ask your agent and assistant and check the surveillance cameras. So, Han Yueyao, you must tell me the truth. Chapter 39:14. Seeing the seriousness on Su Yu's face, Han Yueyao didn't dare to talk nonsense. She told Su Yu everything that had happened. Oh, okay. Su Yu only said 2 words without any expression on his face. President Su, I'm really fine. I'm still a newcomer and don't want to bring trouble to the company or make trouble for myself. Here, have an apple. Su Yu didn't mention it and handed her a peeled apple. Han Yueyao took it and took a small bite. Then she stole a glance at Su Yu. From this angle, she suddenly felt President Su was really handsome, especially when he pretended to be serious and didn't smile. He picked up a tissue and wiped the fruit knife he had just used. With his head down, she could clearly see his long eyelashes. Han Yueyao thought to herself, it's unreasonable for a man to have such long eyelashes. What are you looking at? So you looked up abruptly and met Han Yueyao's gaze. Ahem, I wanted to ask what perfume you're using, President Su. It smells so good. Han Yueyao immediately found an excuse. She couldn't say she was looking at him because he was good-looking, right? Cloud and Breeze. Huh? Is it the famous Cloud and Breeze perfume from Versace? It smells good. I'm surprised that a super rich man like you would use such a friendly perfume. I thought you'd use the handmade Italian plant perfume that costs tens of thousands per milliliter. Han Yueyao's imagination ran wild. I'm rich, but I'm not a sucker. I don't buy whatever is expensive. You must know that. Su Yu was exasperated. Why did this girl think he was a super rich man? Haha, that's not what I meant. I just feel that you're actually very low-key when it comes to dressing. Compared to those luxury brands, Versace is really not that expensive. You seem to like it very much. I see that many of your clothes are also from this brand. Yeah, so is my belt. So you didn't avoid the topic. Then why? Are you the ambassador of this brand in Asia? So are you kidding me? Han Yueyao, I'm serious. I'm not a spokesperson. Su Yu replied seriously. What's your story? Han Yueyao was curious. Su Yu liked Versace. It seemed that all his friends and family knew about it. Even the twins knew to buy a belt for him, and they also bought this brand. That was why Tang Chuan once said that Lord Su was the #1 fan of Versace. There's no story. Maybe he likes Medusa, Su Yu replied calmly. It was Han Yueyao's turn to be speechless. Medusa, a snake woman, a snake-haired banshee in Greek mythology. She was a villain and was a classic symbol of Versace. Fine. I can only say that your taste is too heavy. Han Yueyao couldn't help but chuckle. Rest well. I'll observe you for a few days. If you don't feel well, I'll cancel your live stream next week. No. No? Do you want to become a cripple? No. I don't want to withdraw from the competition so easily. It happened suddenly. The show and the audience will understand. Su Yu persuaded Han Yueyao patiently. I don't like to give up halfway. You're as stubborn as a donkey. Su Yu scolded Han Yueyao helplessly. Compared with you, I'm nothing. You're the most stubborn donkey in the world. Han Yueyao tilted her head and refuted Su Yu. What about me? Su Yu looked at Han Yueyao in amusement. Chapter 39:15. Su Yu looked at Han Yueyao casually and didn't look angry. You've liked Sister Mian for a long time and still can't give up. Sure enough, Han Yueyao touched Su Yu's weakness in a moment of desperation. Sure enough, Su Yu felt awkward. No one had mentioned Huamin for a long time. After all, Huamin was pregnant with her second child. Even if it was a joke, no one dared to mention it in front of Su Yu. In fact, Han Yueyao admired Su Yu because no matter how bad the rumors were, he always loved her. After so many years of love for Huamin, he was a man worthy of respect. Even if he liked Huamin and loved Huamin, so what? He didn't destroy Huamin's family. He only treated her well in silence. So, Han Yueyao liked Su Yu mainly because Su Yu was a serious person. Whether it was to his friends, family, or the person he liked. He was really, really serious. Don't talk nonsense. That's all in the past. I don't like Dr. Ho anymore. She's so pregnant and fat. Who would like her? You're so cute when you don't mean what you say. Han Yueyao couldn't help but laugh. Don't touch on your sore spot. Rest well. I'm leaving. Embarrassed to continue the conversation, Su Yu turned around and walked out. President Su, thank you. Su Yu stopped in his tracks, not understanding why Han Yueyao suddenly said that. He held the door handle with one hand and put the other hand in his pants pocket. He slowly turned his head. Han Yueyao looked at him and said word by word, "You always make me feel that I'm very important and that I exist." Su Yu smiled and didn't say anything. He opened the door and left. He knew what Han Yueyao meant. It wasn't easy for Han Yueyao to work alone in another city. Although Su Yu's mouth was vicious and he often quarreled with her, he had always taken good care of her. When she went on a reality show, the first thing he did was to visit her when she was injured. He did not treat her as a money-making machine, nor did he treat her half-heartedly. Most of the time, he was like a friend, which made Han Yueyao feel close to him. After Su Yu left, Han Yueyao held the peeled apple that Su Yu had peeled for her and was reluctant to eat it. She took a photo with the apple in her hand. He wrote, "Life is a journey on foot. We have to go through thousands of difficulties and dangers, and we will definitely welcome the most beautiful scenery." However, she had blocked Su Yu from her WeChat moments. She was afraid that Su Yu would overthink if he saw the attached picture. Therefore, she only blocked Su Yu. But the gossipy Su Xiao still left a comment. Su Xiao, wow, are you in a new relationship? Han Yueyao replied to Su Xiao, don't talk nonsense. Huamin, I'm at a maternity store. I'll visit you after I finish shopping. Tell me what you want to eat, and I'll bring it to you. Han Yueyao replied to Huamin, thank you, Sister Mian. I really don't want to eat anything. You're not feeling well right now, so don't go back and forth. Yuan Bo, Han Jinxiang, are you crippled? Han Yueyao replied to Yuan Bo, Canon King Yuan, I'm fine thanks to you. Seeing Han Yueyao's reply and calling him Canon King Yuan, Yuan Bo was speechless. He felt that this woman was really straightforward, so simple, and so crude. But he liked it. Oh, I don't think Han Yueyao will be discharged in a week. Why don't we ask the show to change her female companion? Our company has chosen a very popular actress for you. Look at her photo. His agent walked over to Yuan Bo with a tablet and offered to change his female companion, which meant that he didn't want Han Yueyao. Now, that Han Yueyao was injured, it would be worse if she was replaced. Chapter 39:16. No. Bo, why are you so stubborn? I'm doing this for your own good. I don't need you to do this for my own good. I'll continue dancing until I'm eliminated. Otherwise, I'll stay with Han Yueyao forever. Yuan Bo couldn't abandon Han Yueyao at this time because he felt the girl had a hard time. So, he rejected his agent's suggestion. Han Yueyao's hospitalization wasn't a big deal. It wasn't serious to the point of crippling her leg, but she did sprain it and couldn't walk around freely. Su Yu asked someone to find a nurse to take care of her, and Huamin asked the doctors and nurses he was familiar with in the first hospital to take care of her. But what touched Han Yueyao the most was Su Xiao's visit. Su Xiao was supposed to leave in a few days, but Han Yueyao's accident forced her to postpone her trip. She stayed here to take care of Han Yueyao. Xiao, you took care of me in the car accident last time. I feel bad. Han Yueyao looked at Su Xiao guiltily. Don't say that. Are we friends? If we're friends, then be good. Aren't you going to join the army in the Northwest in a few days? I don't want to waste your time. It's okay. I told my uncle that I'll go register in a few days. I'll wait for you. Then, Su Xiaoxiao soaked Han Yuyao's hospital gown in a basin and took it to the washroom to wash it. Although Su Xiaoxiao was rich, she knew how to be grateful. When they lived in the same dorm room, Han Yueyao had washed her clothes many times. So, this time, she took the initiative to return the favor. This time, Lin Heng didn't come to visit Han Yueyao. Instead, he sent a lackey over. The guy looked familiar to Han Yueyao. After knocking on the door and entering, he put down a fruit basket and said, "Big brother Lin sent me here." Then, he left in a hurry. Su Xiaoxiao didn't see him in the washroom while washing clothes, so Han Yueyao didn't say anything. Now that Xiaoxiao was leaving, it was time for the love triangle between the three of them to end. Lying in a hospital bed, Han Yueyao was browsing Weibo on her cell phone. To her surprise, she saw that she was on the hot search list again. The trending topic was "Get out of the entertainment industry." She clicked on it and saw it was Yuan Bo's fans who scolded her for bringing trouble to their idol. The other fans were also furious. So, they started a post about her on the hot search list. Han Yueyao didn't care about this kind of thing. After all, the netizens like to criticize her. At this moment, her manager probably saw the news and sent her a WeChat message. "Yao Yao, do you want the company to help you release a statement?" "It's okay. It's true that I got them into trouble. Let them scold me." Han Yueyao was in a good mood. But as soon as she said that, she saw Yuan Bo post something. It said, "My dance partner, Yu Yao, was injured, but she persevered to the end. I'm very touched. She did her best. If you love me, please don't hurt her. She's a very good girl." With Yuan Bo's explanation, the situation was reversed. The fans all transformed into little princesses, little cotton-padded jackets, and the style changed as well. "Okay, boss. Since you're willing to speak up for her, she must be a good person. We don't hate her anymore. Boss, you're always so kind. We'll always support you and love you. Everyone, don't scold Han Yueyao. She's boss's dance partner, and they have a competition together next week. Let's not deliberately stir up trouble." In the trainee dance studio of Imperial Star, Gao Yeruo held her cell phone with a dark expression. "What should we do, Yeruo? Yuan Bo has stepped in. We can't continue to sway them." A lackey beside her asked anxiously. Chapter 39:17. Then change the topic. Spread the rumor that the vixen Han Yueyao is having an affair with the boss and seducing Yuan Bo, huh? That's not good. If it's found out, she'll have to take legal responsibility. It's a rumor. It seemed that the little follower had some legal knowledge. "Just do as I say. What are you worried about? I'm here." Gao Yero didn't want Han Yueyao to be happy. She was injured, but Han Yueyao was still making up all kinds of rumors. Then Gao Yeruo and her followers bought some ghostwriters and continued to spread rumors. However, Yuan Bo's fans were very strong, and many of them had been loyal for years. They fought back against Gao Yeruo and the others. While protecting Yuan Bo, they also protected Han Yueyao. At 6 p.m. in the evening, Huamin sat alone in a coffee shop on the commercial street he invested in. The bodyguards were less than 2 meters away from her. 5 or 6 bodyguards followed a young lady silently, but didn't dare to approach her. They knew a young lady wasn't in a good mood. "President Hua, would you like some warm milk?" The manager of the coffee shop asked cautiously, not daring to offend the big boss. "No need. Pour me a glass of water." "Okay." Then the waiter poured a glass of water for Huamin. She sat there quietly with a heavy expression on her face. Suyu was going to have dinner with a client after work when he passed by the commercial street. Driving his sports car, he glanced at the coffee shop Huamin invested in. To his surprise, he really saw Huamin. Huamin's car was parked outside. There were bodyguards by the car and bodyguards inside. Seeing so many bodyguards, he knew Huamin must be here. Suyu parked the car on the side of the road and walked in. Huamin's bodyguards all knew Suyu and didn't dare to stop him. The bodyguards were about to greet him when Suyu shushed them. Then, she deliberately walked over to Huamin and sat down opposite him. She teased, "Pregnant woman, why are you alone?" Huamin jerked his head up and laughed. "You're the pregnant one. What are you doing? Spacing out here?" "Yes, I'm in a daze. Do you have an appointment? If you have an appointment with your husband, I will leave. I don't want to be a third wheel. Suyu knew that Qin Chu doted on Huamin very much. He certainly couldn't bear to let her be alone. No, my husband doesn't know I'm here. What's wrong? Is there something on your mind? Suyu asked when he saw that Huamin wasn't in a good mood. Yes, I'm not in a good mood. I'm a little sad. She had known Suyu for a few years, so she could still have intimate conversations with him. What's the matter? Tell me. I want to know what's the matter that can make our genius Dr. Hua so sad that she's sitting here drinking water alone. And Aiyang and Jia are leaving on a plane today. I want to see them off, but I'm afraid I'll be sad and cry, so I didn't go. When I saw their WeChat messages, I was a little sad. Huamin held her cell phone and spoke in a low voice. Seeing her like this really made people feel uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a good thing that the kid emigrated. Although he retired, there's a lot of negative news about him. If his mother and brother want peace, they have to leave here and start over. Yeah, I just can't bear to see the people around me leave one by one. Don't talk nonsense. You still have us, right? Even Qi Ning was brought back by Mr. Tang. Let's have fun. When young Master Shun remarries Wei Ying, we'll have another group of friends. So you try to cheer up Huamin. Suyu, if one day I leave, will you be sad too? Chapter 39:18. Where are you going? Are you going to Noah's Ark? Are you going to Mars? Suyu teased. I'm going to a place very far away, and I'm never coming back, Huamin said. That's fine. I'll move there too. I'll be your neighbor. Suyu continued to smile. What if you can't go to that place? Don't be ridiculous. There's nothing I can't do. Wherever you go, I'll go. After saying that, Suyu suddenly felt that this sentence was too explicit and quickly changed it. What I mean is Mr. Wei and Xiao Wei, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, Tang Chuan and Qi Ning will all move with you. Okay. Huamin forced a smile, but it was obvious that she was still in low spirits. It's already past 6 and the sky is dark. Aren't you going back? Suyu looked at his watch and reminded Huamin. I just want to be alone for a while. If my husband knew, he would be worried about me. I'll go back after I've adjusted myself. Have you eaten? Huamin shook her head. What do you want to eat? I'll accompany you. I don't want to eat anything. Huamin lowered her head and continued to play with her phone. Why don't you come with me to collect a debt? Collect a debt? Huamin was stunned. Yeah, I was going to meet a client later. That client owes me a lot of money. I see that you're always thinking about nonsense. Why don't you come with me to collect the debt? When we get the money back, we'll split it. What do you think? How much does he owe you? Huamin was finally a little interested. Not much. Only 8 million. Oh, that's not much. Why didn't he pay? Do you have no money? Or? No, that guy is the brother-in-law of Li Long, the CEO of Longting Group. So, relying on his brother-in-law's good relationship with me, he has been acting shamelessly. In fact, it's not that he has no money. Last month, he bought diamonds for his wife at the auction house and spent tens of millions. He just complained to me that he was poor. Is this man afraid of his wife? Yeah, I'm pretty scared. I heard that he's the kind that treats his wife very well. Then I have an idea. All right, I'll go with you. Huamin was distracted by Suyu's matter. She wasn't so sad anymore. She got up and left. The bodyguards drove behind Suyu's car while Huamin sat in the front passenger seat. Suyu was afraid that she would be cold, so he directly closed all the skylights. Then, she took out a small blanket from the storage box and covered Huamin's knees with it. I'm fine, don't worry so much. How can I do that? You're a national treasure on the level of a panda. I must protect you. Every time Suyu was with Huamin, he was very relaxed. When he drove, he could even unconsciously whistle. Maybe because Huamin was pregnant, Suyu drove slowly, afraid that the pregnant woman would be frightened. So, many drivers behind him cursed, "Is this a fucking Lamborghini or an old bull?" Then, Lord Su arrogantly replied, "There's nothing wrong with it, buddy." The logo of a Lamborghini is an old bull. The drivers behind him were so angry that they vomited blood on the spot. Little Bean sent Suyu a video call because she wanted Suyu to take her out to play this weekend. She didn't expect that the person who accepted the video call was her mommy. Ah, what's going on? Little Bean was confused. What's up, Little Bean? Mommy, is it really you? It's me. But I sent a video call to Handsome Sue. You. Mommy, what did you do with Handsome Sue behind Daddy's back? Little Bean's shout made Mr. Cheen, who was eating dinner not far away, tremble. Chapter 39:19. Huamin was speechless. Sui was speechless. Pudding also walked over curiously. She walked behind Little Bean and pretended to be surprised. Oh, it's really Mommy. But didn't she just call Daddy and say she was alone in the coffee shop? What's going on? Are you two professional scammers? Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Mommy, you have to explain why you were in Handsome Sue's car. Otherwise, we won't forgive you. Little Bean didn't give up. Sue said, Little Bean, look at your mommy. She's almost 140 pounds. Your Uncle Sue is handsome and handsome. Am I that desperate? Do you think Dr. Hua is so fat that I can do it? Haha, Sue, you're slandering me. Huamin looked at Sue and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm just stating a fact, Sue explained calmly. Oh, Mommy, so handsome Sue doesn't like you? Little Bean laughed. Yes, Miss Cheen Moo. It's all because of you that two men dislike me, Huamin said. Yes, look, your husband won't even look back at you. He only wants to show you his handsome back. Little Bean purposely turned the camera to Cheen Chu. Sure enough, Mr. Cheen was sitting there, eating slowly and methodically. Cheen Chu looked at Little Bean lovingly. Girl, don't cause trouble. Little Bean is trying to start a family war. Pudding explained. Didn't you add fuel to the fire? I'm not the only one who did that. Humph. Okay, kids, I'll talk to you later. We're going to collect the debt. Huamin was about to turn off the video. Mrs. Cheen, Mr. Cheen will prepare a durian and a keyboard for you when we get home. Which one do you like? Pudding teased her mother. Let's not talk about that for now. I think you and Little Bean are too free, so I plan to arrange hosting classes, dance classes, goujing classes, solfeggio and ear training, and taekwondo classes for the two of you. Oh, right, Spanish. What do you think? Mommy, we were just joking. Why are you so serious? Pudding quickly corrected herself. Mommy, I love you. Come back soon. Be careful. I'll peel the durian and put on a plate for you. Little Bean quickly flattered. All right, that's all for now. The older, the wiser. Huamin's words changed the situation. The two children were frightened and hung up the video call. Cheen Chu deliberately turned around and asked, How is it? Who won? Your wife won, of course. She's so cunning. Little Bean pouted. Daddy, your woman is ruthless. I'm impressed, Pudding said. I'm impressed. Little Bean added again. So, I told you not to mess with her? Cheen Chu smiled slightly. We didn't mess with her. I sent a video call to Handsome Sue, but Mommy picked it up. Daddy, are you sure you don't want to send someone to follow her? Little Bean deliberately ran over and sat on Cheen Chu's lap. All right, stop fooling around. Go and eat some fruit. Daddy still has work to do. Cheen Chu really didn't want to joke with his daughters. After all, he knew his wife very well. Not to mention that Su Yu and Huamin were alone together. Huamin had lived at Su Yu's house for a year, and he never worried. Plus, his wife was pregnant with his son and was about to give birth. Who would be so narrow-minded as to suspect something? At the entrance of a company, let's go up. The guy must be in the office, Su Yu said. No, watch me. Huamin got out of the car with a smile and walked to the front desk in the lobby. Chapter 39:20. My great aunt, please walk slowly. After Su Yu parked his car, he hurriedly followed behind Huamin. The bodyguards had a tacit understanding and did not dare to follow them. They only parked their cars not far behind Su Yu's car and secretly observed. Then, one person followed Huamin and Su Yu from a distance to ensure their safety. Huamin supported his waist with one hand and touched his round belly with the other. He walked directly to the receptionist. May I know who you're looking for? The receptionist smiled politely. Is Zheng Haitao inside? Huamin deliberately did not mention Chief Zheng and called him by his full name. It was very thought-provoking. Of course, she had also asked Su Yu about the name of the company CEO on the way here. Chief Zheng is here. May I know if you have an appointment? I don't need an appointment. Don't you know who I am? As Huamin spoke, he deliberately touched his belly. Suyu was dumbfounded by his expression and acting skills. I'll call Chief Zheng to inform him. No need. I'll go up myself. You do your work. After saying that, Huamin led Suyu directly to the elevator. Then, he asked in a low voice, "Which floor is the CEO's office on?" "The top floor," Suyu replied. "Okay, let's go up." "Dr. Hua, I didn't expect you to have such a scheming side." Haha. Suyu was so smart that he could tell at a glance what Huamin was up to. "I'm just helping you collect the debt. Do you think it's easy for me?" Huamin rolled his eyes at him. "It's not easy. It's really not easy. When I get the money back, I'll give it all to you." "I don't want it. I'm not short of money." The two chatted like this, and in the blink of an eye, they reached the top floor. When they entered the CEO's office, they heard the CEO talking on the phone with an anxious look on his face. "Honey, listen to me. I really didn't. I only have you. Don't you know how I've been all these years? You have to believe me. I'm innocent." "Hi, Chief Zheng," Huamin said sweetly on purpose. The moment she opened her mouth, the person on the other end of the phone wasted his explanation. "Honey, I'll explain it to you in detail when we get home tonight. Please don't get angry." The man hung up the phone and glanced at Suyu, then at Huamin. "President Su, I only owe you some money. Do you have to be so ruthless and push me to my death? My wife is exploding." "Chief Zheng, what are you talking about?" "My friend, and I didn't do anything." Suyu sat on the sofa with a smile. In fact, he was well aware of it. It was also obvious that he was taking advantage of the situation. "Chief Zheng, 8 million isn't a lot of money. If it's convenient for you, you can pay it back," Huamin said with a smile. "I don't have it right now. I'm having a hard time with cash flow recently." "Oh, I see. That's fine. Don't worry. I have nothing to do anyway. In the future, I'll come to the company once a day to drink tea and chat with you." After Huamin said this, the man was scared out of his wits. No, I beg you. Please let me go." "Chief Zheng, what are you talking about? It's not easy for our pregnant female employees to come to you every day to collect debts. It's hard for everyone. You have to understand us, right?" Yes. Then, the man immediately picked up the phone and dialed the internal line. "Finance department? I don't care where you get the money from. Transfer 8 million to Imperial Star's account immediately, right now." After hanging up the phone, the man looked at Suyu with a sad face. "Chief Su, will this work? Don't cheat me, okay?" "Okay. I'll leave as soon as I get the message." "But Chief Su, I have a favor to ask," the man continued. "What is it?" Suyu was in a good mood, and the corners of his mouth curled up. "Can you get your pregnant female employee to give my wife a call and explain the relationship properly? She insists that I have a mistress outside and even child." Chapter 39:21. Suyu was still laughing when they walked out of the company. "Can you stop it? Are you done laughing?" Huamin was speechless. "Dr. Hua, I didn't expect you to be so good. I asked for more than a month's worth of debt, and you got it out just like that." Suyu still couldn't believe that Huamin got more than 8 million yuan in debt with just a few words. He didn't use violence, didn't use his connections, and didn't fall out with them. "Don't you know that pregnant women are very popular?" "I can tell, but you're too smart. How did you know that the receptionist would tell his wife?" So you didn't know much about women's schemes, so he naturally didn't understand the stakes. "Didn't you say that he's afraid of his wife?" "Yeah. Then his wife must have spies in his company. That's why I went to see him in such a high-profile manner. Even if the receptionist didn't say anything, others would." "I see. I've learned something." Suyu was very impressed by Huamin. "Come, we agreed to split it half." Suyu picked up his phone and was about to transfer the money. "Don't. If you really want to, donate it to the foundation. Andy Su, Southside often receives many children from poor families, especially newborns who were abandoned by their parents because of illness. They're very pitiful. With our foundation's help program, they'll have a lot of chances to be reborn." Huamian stopped Suyu and didn't want to take the money. She didn't want it anyway. She knew that Suyu didn't lack money. When he said that he would give her half, he definitely wasn't pretending. "Okay, I'll listen to you." Suyu called his mother without hesitation. He was supposed to donate half of it. However, Huamin cared so much about the Southside Hospital Foundation that he donated more than 8 million yuan at once. Mian, do you really want to go back to Southside? It's okay. I don't think that way anymore. Huamin lowered his head. The two of them walked on the road. If you want to go back, I have a way. No matter how powerful Zheng Rou's father is, he's not as powerful as my grandpa. I'll go with my grandpa. Please don't. This is my own business. I don't want to trouble Lord Su. Also, I'm in labor now, so I really don't have the time to care about Southside. It's good that I was fired. Look at me, I've been eating, drinking, and having fun all day. She turned around, and indeed, there was more meat on her face, and her waistline had also become more plump. You have to take good care of yourself. The third trimester looks quite scary. So you naturally hoped that Huamin would give birth to the child safely. No one wanted Huamin to be safe and happy more than him. I know, but did you go to the hospital to see Yao Yao? Yes, that damn girl is also very stubborn. So you sighed. Yao Yao's temper is a bit weird, but she's a good person. You can consider her. Huamin was a bit blunt, so you deliberately changed the topic. Recently, the company doesn't have any good artists. I'll consider spending a lot of money to make her work, as long as she works hard. I'm not talking about that. It's your personal business. Personal business? I've been looking for her. My aunt introduced me to a lot of girls and added them on WeChat. Look, my WeChat is exploding. Su Yu deliberately showed his cell phone to Huamin to prove that he had added those girls on WeChat. Maybe he didn't want to burden Huamin. Su Yu and Huamin walked casually on the street, but to their surprise, many people followed them and took many photos. In a club, the woman smoked as she looked at the photos, her eyes cold and piercing. I didn't expect Su Yu to be so infatuated. After so many years, he's still thinking about that bitch Huamin. Chapter 39-22. In the office of the director of the Municipal Bureau, Director Gao, why did you transfer Little Chin away for no reason? The Baisha branch also needs her. They specifically asked for her. Then wouldn't the head of the White Sands branch follow your lead? If you didn't say so, how could you take her away? Old Wu, what do you mean by this? Are you questioning me? Gao Ran looked at the deputy director, Wu Zhongjing, who was slightly older than him. No, I don't dare to question you. What I mean is that Little Chun is a very excellent police officer. It's obvious to all. There are many single men in our bureau who have a crush on her. She's the prettiest girl in our bureau. You just transferred her away without a word. Everyone is a little uncomfortable. Old Wu, we're a police station. We work for the people, not a matchmaking agency. I hope you understand this. Gao Ran was very scary when he was serious. Yes. Director Gao, you know me. That's not what I meant. What I meant was, okay, I still have to go out and do something. This matter has been decided. Don't waste time. Those young police officers who don't have a partner aren't excited. Why are you, an old police officer, so excited? After Gao Ran finished speaking, he picked up his police uniform and walked out of the hall. After Gao Ran left, some female colleagues began to whisper to each other. Hey, do you know why Director Gao transferred Little Chin away? Is there something going on between them? There's so many people in the bureau. He's afraid of being discovered. So, to cover it up, that can't be. Director Gao isn't that kind of person. He's very upright. In the past, even if there were university students who were prettier than Little Chun, Director Gao treated them equally and didn't take special care of them. Yeah, they all say that Director Gao dotes on his wife. I wonder if his wife saved the galaxy in her previous life. Gao Ran transferred a young police officer. This was originally a small matter, but he didn't want people to make a big deal out of it. That night, the public security website was hacked. An article titled, "The Director of the Municipal Bureau Has a Bad Style." In order to cover it up, he transferred a beautiful female subordinate away, suspected of having an affair. This article caused a huge commotion within the Public Security Bureau. Not only did the provincial leaders ask about it, even Zhu Lingling, Gao Ran's family member, was taken away for questioning. Therefore, that night, the atmosphere in Gao Ran's house was very tense. Isn't this matter over? Why are you still making such a big deal out of it? Zhu Lingling's face was cold. How would I know? Gao Ran, tell me the truth. Did you really transfer that vixen Chun Yuning away to avoid suspicion or to make it easier for you to have a date later? What are you talking about? Gao Ran was also a little annoyed. He had been gossiped about by his colleagues for the whole day, and before he got off work, he was invited to have tea with his superior. There were still a lot of things waiting to be solved in the municipal bureau. Gao Ran was not in the mood to be entangled in such personal matters. Probably because he was tired after the whole day, Gao Ran couldn't help but raise his voice when Zhu Lingling was being unreasonable. Gao Ran, how dare you shout at me? Zhu Lingling stared at her husband in surprise. Lingling, don't be unreasonable, okay? I have a lot of things to deal with in the bureau. What things? Is it about you and Chen Yuning? Are you done yet? I've transferred her away. What else do you want? Do you want me to shoot her myself? Will you be happy then? He was angry again. Gao Ran was rarely so agitated. Secretary Zeng had been pressuring him repeatedly to find his daughter. Gao Ran had been tense these days. Now that he had a chance to vent, he couldn't help but explode. Chapter 39-23. Yeah, I told you to shoot and kill you. What? You can't bear to do it? When a woman was angry, she could explode at any time. Gao Ran was very nice to her and rarely talked to her so loudly. So when she saw her husband lose control of his emotions, Zhu Lingling felt wronged. Gao Ran was even angrier after hearing this. He was so angry that he put one hand on his waist and didn't know what to say. He bit his lower lip tightly and felt his whole body tremble with anger. Dad, Mom, stop arguing, okay? Gao Buiyuan was lying in the bedroom and watching cartoons. Hearing the argument in the living room, he hurried over to calm them down. Gao Ran, have you been bewitched by that vixen? Now you think I'm bad in every way. You feel wrong because I told you to transfer her away, right? You can't explain it to your little lover, right? Zhu Lingling, I really have to hand it to you for saying such things. He called Zhu Lingling by her full name, which made her even angrier. Son, let's go. Let him miss his little lover at home. Zhu Lingling took Gao Buiyuan's hand and walked out. It's so late. Where are you going? Although he was angry, he still cared about the safety of his wife and child. I'm taking Buiyuan to see my ex-boyfriend, maybe to make Gao Ran angry, Zhu Lingling yelled. Gao Ran was so angry that he let go of her hand. Then, Zhu Lingling carried her son out of the door. Gao Ran fell onto the sofa and felt his head buzzing. He had been working in the city bureau for several years. Although he had a good reputation, it was inevitable that some people would be jealous of him. So this incident happened to be a trigger. After the higher-ups asked, they didn't think it was Gao Ran's fault but slander. But a basin of dirty water splashed on him couldn't be unaffected at all. Plus, he had been under a lot of pressure recently. Gao Ran felt like he was about to collapse. 10 minutes later, he calmed down and picked up his phone to call Zhu Lingling. His phone was turned off. He had no choice but to call his in-laws and ask them to leave the door open for Lingling and Buiyan. Then, Gao Ran called Qin Shu and asked Qin Shu to have a drink with her. Zhu Lingling drove home with Buiyuan. She planned to go back to her mother's home. Later on, he thought that the old man would be worried if he went back, so he simply drove to South Hill Manor. She moved into Huomin's house with her child. Huomin and the twins were naturally very happy and welcomed the mother and son to stay the night. Little Bean, in particular, was very happy. She was originally sleepy, but now she was awake again. She took Buiyuan to her toy room and showed him many new toys. Zhu Lingling complained to Huomin and cursed Gao Ran for being a bastard. First Hospital Su Xiao wrung out a towel with hot water and handed it to Han Yueyao. Come on, wipe your face and go to bed. Xiao, I'll be discharged tomorrow. You don't have to stay here with me. Thank you for your hard work these days. I'll leave tomorrow morning. Tonight is the last night before I leave. So soon? It's not so soon. I've been delayed for several days. It's all my fault. Han Yueyao felt guilty. No, you made me slack off for several days. Xiao, remember to keep in touch with me when you go to the Northwest. Han Yueyao reached out and placed her hand on Su Xiao's soft and tender hand. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you. When you become a big star, I'll boast to my comrades in the army that the popular star Han Yueyao is my bestie. Ha! Xiao Xiao, are you sure you won't say goodbye to Lin Hang? Han Yueyao knew Su Xiao Xiao cared about the mechanic most in the city. Chapter 39:24. I won't tell him. I won't let him know. When Su Xiao Xiao was stubborn, she wouldn't change her mind. Xiao Xiao, I'll remember how good you are to me. Han Yueyao was a bit sad. Don't say that. It's a tear gas bomb. Don't play this trick on me. I hate crying. Cheer me up. Okay. The next morning, when Han Yueyao was discharged from the hospital, her agent and assistant came to pick her up. Su Xiao Xiao left the hospital at 5 a.m. She left on a 7 a.m. plane. She left in a low-key manner, and few people in the company knew about it. After leaving the hospital, Han Yueyao returned to her dorm room. Looking at the empty room, she felt bad. She sent a WeChat message to Su Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, have a safe trip. Thank you for having you in my life. Less than a minute after she sent the message, she received a reply. She immediately picked it up, thinking it was from Su Xiao Xiao, but to her surprise, it was from Yuan Bo. I just went to the hospital to see you. They said you were discharged. Yeah, damn it. Why didn't you tell me you were discharged? I came here for nothing. Do you need something? Of course. I'm visiting a patient. How are you? I'm much better. Are you okay with this week's competition? No problem. Okay. Take a rest today. Tomorrow, we'll rehearse this week's dance. Okay. After chatting with this guy on WeChat, Han Yueyao lay in bed to relax. At this moment, someone knocked on the door. Han Yueyao stood up and opened the door slowly. To her surprise, it was Su Yu's assistant. The whole world knew this. Han Yueyao immediately glanced behind him, thinking Su Yu was here. President Su isn't here. It's just me. I'm alone, and explained, seeing Han Yueyao's thoughts. Oh, Han Yueyao looked embarrassed. President Su asked me to buy these for you, and handed her several big bags of food. Han Yueyao took them. Okay, thank President Su for me. President Su said you can call him if you need anything. You should take good care of yourself. Okay, and about Xiao Xiao going to the army, I won't tell anyone, Han Yueyao said immediately. All right, that's settled then. After and left, Han Yueyao brought the box in and opened it. One of the bags was filled with fruits. They were all exquisite fruits. There was a bag of some new daily necessities. There was also a bag with some Didagio and anti-inflammatory medicine. It seemed that the preparation was quite complete. Tossing and turning in bed, she couldn't fall asleep. Finally, she sent a WeChat message to Su Yu. President Su, I've received everything, and has sent it over. Thank you. Unexpectedly, Su Yu did not reply to her. She didn't see Su Yu for the past few days. It was Su Yu who visited her on her first day in the hospital. Thinking about it, a person like Su Yu is extremely busy. Why would he think of visiting her? At this thought, she felt sad and fell asleep on the bed. When she woke up again, she was woken up by the ringing of her phone. Hello. She picked up the phone in a daze. Han Yueyao, come to the Lego nightclub. It was Su Yu's voice, huh? Now. Yeah. I'll ask her to pick you up. Get dressed and wait for me. Su Yu knew that she couldn't walk properly, so he asked him to pick her up. Okay. Han Yueyao was still wondering why Su Yu asked her, a patient, to go to the nightclub at such a late hour. When she arrived, she seemed to understand Su Yu's intention. Han Yueyao pushed the door open. It was noisy inside, and no one noticed her, and led her to Su Yu's side. Su Yu seemed to be drinking with a famous director. President Su, Miss Han is here. Chapter 39:25. Come here. Su Yu beckoned her to sit beside him. In the washroom of the private room, Ding Lan, the female star, put her arms around the director's neck. Director Sun, why hasn't my role been announced yet? I heard the other actors are about to join the cast. How come I didn't receive the notice? Lan Lan, to tell you the truth, you might not be able to join the cast. Why? You promised me. Ding Lan was furious, but knew she couldn't offend the director, so she continued to act coquettishly. Then, she used her thighs to rub against some of the director's sensitive areas. Her actions were very familiar. I just found a replacement for your role. Forget about this movie. I'll save a role for you in the next movie. Okay? How can you do that? You promised me. Ding Lon was a little anxious. She had used a lot of her connections for this movie. She had slept with 3 men, from the director to the producer to one of the investors. It wasn't easy for her to get the role of the second female lead. She didn't expect that she would be eliminated just like that. What was all the effort she had put in? There's nothing we can do about it. Director's son, don't you love Lon Lon the most? Why did you do that? I'll be sad. You know I love this movie. Ding Lon didn't dare to offend him directly and had to pretend to be pitiful to win his sympathy. Lon Lon, to tell you the truth, I do want you to join the cast. But the investor asked me to replace you. I can't do anything about it. He's the god of wealth and uses real money. The investor? That barbarian Luo? Ding Lon remembered that the old pervert had promised her that he would give her a role when they had slept together. No, Boss Luo is only a small shareholder. The biggest investor asked for it. Who's the biggest investor? Ding Lon asked immediately. Imperial Star Entertainment. Imperial Star Entertainment? Suyu? Ding Lon finally realized who he was. Lon Lon, we're familiar with each other and aren't strangers. Let me ask you, have you offended President Su recently? Ding Lon was about to say that she didn't offend Han Yueyao, but then she remembered the rumors between Han Yueyao and Su Yu, so she didn't know what to say. Lon Lon, let me give you a piece of advice. You can't afford to offend Su Yu. If you offend him, apologize as soon as possible. Otherwise, your future as a star may be difficult. Director's son tried his best to persuade him. Understand. Thank you, Director Sunday. Although Ding Lon was furious, she didn't dare to do anything. She had thought that it was just a rumor. To his surprise, Han Yueyao's backer was really Su Yu. She had only accidentally stepped on Han Yueyao's foot, but Su Yu had interfered in the matter of replacing her in the new movie. Ding Lon didn't expect that. Not many bosses were willing to do that for their mistresses. Could it be that Han Yueyao was really Su Yu's favorite? Ding Lon touched up her makeup in the bathroom. When she came out, she poured herself a glass of wine and walked over to Su Yu. Hello, President Su. Do you remember me? You are. Su Yu looked up and pretended not to know her. I'm Lon Lon. Which Lon Lon? The one from Tiana Entertainment? Ding Lon smiled awkwardly. No, I'm Lon Lon from Dancing Allure. I'm sorry. I didn't watch Dancing Allure. Su Yu looked at her and answered calmly. Everyone in the room fell silent. Young Master Su was about to flip out. Chapter 39:26. Ding Lon looked even more embarrassed. She couldn't even maintain her smile. Oh, I see. I thought President Su would pay attention to the actresses of President Su's show. I'm busy and don't have much time. What? Do you want to talk to me about something? Su Yu wanted to embarrass her. President Su, I don't know what I did wrong to offend you, but I hope you'll forgive me. I'll be eternally grateful if you give me, a B-list actress, a chance to live. To express my apology, I'll drink first. Ding Lon raised the knife in her hand in front of everyone and finished it in one gulp. Director's son felt sorry for the woman who had slept with him. After all, they had been intimate. So he took the lead in applauding and cheering. Lon Lon, you're a good drinker. You're a heroine. President Su will show you respect. Then everyone followed suit and applauded. Ding Lon had been in the entertainment industry for a few years and had some influence. Seeing the others try to smooth things over for her, Su Yu said slowly, Miss Lon Lon, I think you're mistaken. You didn't offend me. You offended my employee. So, it's useless for you to apologize to me. You should beg my employee to forgive you. After all, she was almost eliminated because of you. Su Yu's words were so clear that everyone knew what was going on. Han Yueyao was nervous. Although she didn't like Ding Lon, she didn't expect to embarrass her in front of so many people. She was alarmed. Su Yu reached out and placed his hand on hers, giving her courage. Ding Lon was, after all, a famous actress. She couldn't bring herself to apologize to Han Yueyao. But at the thought that if she didn't apologize to Han Yueyao, She might miss the opportunity to play the supporting actress in a big movie with a commission of 6 million yuan. Her heart ached. After much consideration, she decided to apologize with a smile. She poured herself another glass of wine and looked at Han Yueyao. Little sister Yao Yao, it was my fault. Please forgive me. Then, Ding Lan downed another glass of wine. She was about to take the wine glass when Suyu stopped her. Yao Yao, what did I tell you before? Han Yueyao froze. Suyu continued, remember what it means to give someone a taste of their own medicine. Whatever grievances you've suffered, make them pay back in double. If I remember correctly, Miss Lan Lan accidentally stepped on your foot, didn't she? Do you want to step on it twice? President Su, that's enough. Give me some face. Ha! Lan Lan really doesn't have it easy. Director's son couldn't stand it anymore and felt bad for his lover. Suyu raised his head and glanced at the man. Give you face. Who do you think you are? Suyu's words made the director's face turn ugly. At this moment, no one in the room dared to make sound. The young master of the Su family was furious. Even if the municipal party secretary was here, he wouldn't give face to the director. Seeing the situation was difficult to resolve, Ding Lan walked over and lowered her head to look at Han Yueyao. Then, little sister Yao Yao, can you kick me twice? Gritting her teeth, Han Yueyao knew Suyu would stand up for her today. If she continued to pretend to be a saint, she wouldn't appreciate his kindness. Without another word, she gritted her teeth and stomped on Ding Lan's feet. Ding Lan's face was livid. Then, she swallowed her anger and said, President Su, is this okay? Go ahead and ask. As long as Yao Yao forgives you, that's enough. Ding Lan looked at Han Yueyao with complicated emotions. Little sister Yao Yao, is this okay? Have you vented your anger? Chapter 39:27. It's okay. Sister, you'd better be careful. You stepped on me today. I'm just a newbie. If I step on a woman who's a movie queen, my career as an actress will be over, right? Yeah, sister, you're right. Ding Lan forced a smile. Then Suyu stood up slowly and brushed the cigarette ash off his shirt. Suyu, have two obvious traits. First, I'm rich. Second, I'm very protective of my people. Anyone who bullies my people will have a bad ending. Today's incident ends here. I don't want others to know about it. Of course, I don't want anyone to use this opportunity to create hype. If someone takes a video secretly, they'll be doomed. These last words could be considered a threat, and they had the effect of deterring them. Then, Suyu took Han Yueyao's arm and walked out. Lord Su, take care. Take care, President Su. The people in the room held their breaths and didn't calm down until Suyu left. After Suyu left, Ding Lan buried her face in her hands and cried on the sofa. She felt that she had really embarrassed herself today. Lan Lan, don't cry. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Suyu's too much. Ding Lan cursed in tears. You can't help it. Suyu's always been like this. You've learned your lesson. Stay away from him. The others comforted Ding Lan. Walking out, Han Yueyao still felt like she was floating. How did you feel? Suyu released her arm and asked with a smile. Great. Very great. Han Yueyao told the truth. Silly. You hesitated when I asked you to step on her. I've never done that before. If I had known, I would have stepped harder and stomped her to death. Ha! Okay, now that you've vented your anger and established your dominance, I guess no one will dare to bully you in dancing allure or when you take jobs. Thank you for standing up for me, President Su. Han Yueyao felt warm in her heart. Ever since she was young, she had never liked to cause trouble. Everything was settled by herself. The feeling of being protected by someone for the first time was really very, very warm. Her feelings for Suyu had deepened. Of course, she only kept these in her heart. Suyu didn't know. Does your leg still hurt? It doesn't hurt anymore. How's the live stream this week? Of course. If you don't believe me, I can run a lap for you. In a good mood, she pretended to run. Suyu waved his hand, gesturing for her to stop. All right. Don't be a tiger. You've just recovered from your injury. Why are you running away? You're pretty much done for this week's live broadcast. Even if you're eliminated, it doesn't matter. I've already spoken to the production team, and asked them to assign you a less difficult dance. Isn't that fooling people? Then do you want to fool people or cripple your leg? So you asked her, I don't want to fool people, but I don't want to be crippled. In your dreams. All right, the competition's over. You've shown your face and gained popularity. Everyone knows you now. We don't have to go too far. So you didn't have high expectations for Han Yue-Yao, since she was just a newcomer. President Su, did I disappoint you? I'm not a good actress, right? Hearing Su Yu's words, Han Yue-Yao was a bit disappointed. She thought it was because she wasn't good enough that President Su didn't have high expectations for her. So he was slightly surprised at first. Then he tilted his head and glanced at her. Sighing, he said, over the years, there have been many talents in Imperial Star. Han Yue-Yao, you're indeed not the most hard-working and best actress. But for me, you're good enough. Han Yue-Yao found at this moment. So he was neither a boss nor a friend. Instead, he was more like a big brother next door, approachable and approachable. Standing on tiptoe, she couldn't help but lean over and kiss him. Yes, this was a crazy idea. Chapter 39-28. For the first time in her life, Han Yue-Yao wanted to do something brave. The moment she stood on tiptoe to kiss Su Yu, Anne's voice came from not far away and interrupted her mercilessly. Su Yu didn't pay attention to her at all. Hearing Anne's voice, he walked to the other side. Han Yue-Yao stood there alone, feeling awkward. President Su, there's a problem with our car. And was an alarmist. After working for Su Yu for many years, Su Yu knew him well. What's wrong? I'll tell you when I get back. Anyway, we can't drive the car today. How about you take a taxi and send Miss Han home? Or I'll call the company and ask the driver to work overtime to pick you up. So you looked down at his watch. Forget it. Why bother them at this hour? I'll take a taxi home. What about you? I'll call the 4S shop and ask them to tow the car away, and said, okay, that's it. With that, Su Yu strode back and hailed a taxi. Let's go. I'll drive you home first. President Su, I'm fine. I can do it myself. Han Yue-Yao thought she was quite a tough woman. Don't waste time. Let's go. It's cold here. Without a word, Su Yu opened the car door and stuffed Han Yue-Yao into the car. Then he sat in the passenger seat. Imperial Star's employee dormitory. He had said such a thing. Okay. The driver was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He had thin hair and was fat, but he looked kind. Huh, are you the big boss of Imperial Star? After driving for a few minutes, the driver glanced at Su Yu frequently and found him familiar. Then, he finally remembered him. Yeah, so you didn't bother to say more. Oh my gosh, it's really you. Didn't you say you're rich? Not bad. So you didn't know if he was being modest or showing off. Han Yue-Yao chuckled behind him. Su Yu rolled his eyes at her through the rearview mirror. Oh my God, my daughter likes you so much. President Su, she said you're handsome and wants to quit school. She said she wants to go to your company to interview for a trainee. This kid, how old is your daughter? So you was curious. After my birthday this year, I'll be 12. So you, Han Yue-Yao couldn't help but laugh wildly, not caring about her ladle-like image. Is it funny? So you turned around and glared at her. It's so funny. President Su, I didn't know you were so popular. Han Yue-Yao chuckled. Su Yu was speechless. Then, the driver continued to lament. Big brother, let me tell you, being rich doesn't necessarily mean happiness, right? Many rich people have a lot of bank loans. They're under a lot of pressure all day. They're not as happy as us driving a taxi. I am satisfied as long as I can earn 2 or 300 yuan a day. There's nothing wrong with what you said. So you chatted with him casually. At this moment, the driver looked at Han Yue-Yao behind him. This girl is very pretty. She's an actress in your company, right? So you nodded vaguely. You're so lucky. You have all kinds of actresses and can pick any one of them. But you have to take care of your body. You're young and overworked. You'll know when you're my age. Men with weak kidneys can't take care of themselves. So you have to take it easy. Hearing this, so you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Han Yue-Yao blushed awkwardly. They weren't in kindergarten anymore and naturally understood what he meant. Hey, are you a taxi driver or a paparazzi? You're so old and you're so gossipy. So you finally couldn't help but question the driver. Chapter 39:29. Time passed quickly when they met a funny taxi driver. After Suyu walked Han Yue out to the dorm, he didn't bother to get out of the car. Instead, he took a taxi back to his mansion. When he arrived at the mansion and came back soon, then he had a complicated expression on his face. What happened to the car? What did the people at the 4S store say? Suyu sat on the sofa and watched the financial news on his cell phone as he asked. The car was tampered with. Hearing this, Suyu slowly looked up. Seeing that it didn't look like he was joking at all, he realized that this matter might be serious. Was it tampered with? In all these years, Suyu had never encountered such a thing, not even once, and nodded. Yeah, the brakes didn't work. You didn't drive it. How did you find out? Suyu was puzzled. When I went to the underground parking lot to get my car, I happened to see a shadow in black flashing past. It was very suspicious. Also, after you asked me to investigate the car accident last time, I was very careful with my movements, so I checked the car before I started driving. In the end, I found that the brakes had been tampered with. Did you drop the surveillance footage from the nightclub? There should be surveillance cameras in the underground parking lot. Yes, just as I thought, someone erased the footage. Hee hee, that's interesting. Suyu chuckled. President Su, from now on, we must be more careful. I have a feeling that this enemy is getting closer and closer. I know. Doesn't he want to kill me? I like to see who dies first. Ever since the car accident last time, Suyu knew that someone was deliberately targeting him. That was why he felt guilty for implicating the innocent Han Yueyao and treated her better than before. However, after that incident, and had been investigating but found nothing. Those people were very good at hiding in the dark. After a period of peace, Suyu would be fine in the future. Who would have thought that this would happen again today? The car that had been tampered with was bought by Suyu. After the car accident last time, Suyu's black Lamborghini Sixth Element was smashed beyond recognition, and he was heartbroken. That was his favorite car. Later, everyone thought that he would buy an identical one. He was just as stubborn as Huamin. He kept switching to Audi R8, but Suyu didn't. Later on, he continued to buy many sports cars. His company also had many cars, business cars, Bentley, Land Rover, BMW, and so on. The car that was involved in the accident today was an orange-yellow Ferrari. It was the car that Suyu had been driving recently, and it was one of the more frequently seen models. Fortunately, Shaun discovered it in time. Otherwise, the consequences would really be unpredictable. Of course, Suyu didn't want to encounter another car accident. The feeling of life and death was not good. President Su, there's something else. I don't know if I should tell you. Seeing that his boss was lost in thought and hesitated for a moment before continuing. Whether you should tell me or not. Aren't you going to tell me? Suyu looked down at his phone. Today, when I called out to you at the nightclub, Miss Han seemed to want to kiss you. Suyu, don't fucking talk nonsense. Suyu was naturally embarrassed, so he could only scold in, I'm not talking nonsense. It's true. If I didn't call out to you, maybe Miss Han would have kissed you. Suyu licked his lips. His expression was inscrutable, but he didn't speak. President Su, I feel that Miss Han might really like you, and analyzed. Chapter 39:30. Okay, stop spreading rumors. Hurry up and order takeout. I'm hungry. So you didn't want to talk about the things between men and women. So he immediately changed the topic. Are you addicted to takeout? Of course. Do you want to cook? So you raised his eyebrows. Then, let's order takeout. And didn't dare to say anything. After all, he wasn't a woman and couldn't cook every day. After all, the boss hired assistants and bodyguards, not cooks, right? On the other side, Qin Shu and Gao Ran were drinking in a German-style beer garden. The two of them sat quietly in the private room. There was a foreign singer singing below. Did you fight with your wife again? Mr. Qin asked first. How did you know? Are you a half-immortal? Gao Ran was astonished. Because you have nothing to be depressed about except fighting with your wife. Gao Ran. Qin Shu knew Gao Ran better than he knew himself. Gao Ran was a workaholic. Maybe because of his father's influence, he was obsessed with his job as a police officer. No matter how busy, tired, and stressed he was, Gao Ran could handle it. But when it came to relationships, he didn't know what to do. Maybe men's minds were always different from women's. Gao Ran thought he had transferred Chen Yuning away. Although there would be trouble in the future, he didn't do anything wrong. However, he did have a clear conscience. Not only did Zhu Lingling not comfort him, she even scolded him. He felt so wronged. Sometimes, I really don't understand what Lingling is thinking. If you could understand women, you'd be a philosopher, Qin Chu said calmly. It's a good thing that my family has lived a simple life for the past few years. If I switch places with you, Lingling would have forced me to my death. Speaking of which, Hua Mian is a good person. She's open-minded and can trust you at all times. She'll face all difficulties with you. So, she's my destined wife. Speaking of Hua Mian, Qin Chu was full of pride. It was as if his wife was the best woman in the world. Does that mean that Lingling isn't the one I'm destined to be with? Gao Ran was stunned. So, do you want to try getting a divorce? Qin Chu said with a faint smile. Screw you, don't try to fool me. I don't have the guts to get a divorce. If I do, Lingling will never forgive me. So, if you love her, you should try to accept everything. Women are always insecure, especially when there's an enemy who's better than them. You can't blame her for overthinking. I don't think Chen Yuning is outstanding. She looks average, Gao Ran said honestly. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You only have eyes for your wife. There's nothing wrong with that. We were planning to have a second child. In recent years, the government's policy has been good, allowing women to have a second child. But in fact, after Wei Yuan was born, Lingling has been in poor health. She's very weak and has been sick all the time. My heart aches for her. Okay, go to my house and pick her up. It's not a big deal. Don't make trouble for her. Qin Chu seldom tried to persuade Gao Ran, but he could tell that Gao Ran was really depressed. Okay, I'll go with you. After chatting with Qin Chu for a while, Gao Ran felt much better. Then he drove to South Hill Manor with Qin Chu. Seeing Gao Ran come in, Hua Mian immediately said to Zhu Lingling, who was applying a facial mask in the living room, Hey woman, your man is here to pick you up. Tell him to get out. Zhu Lingling was still angry. Embarrassed, Gao Ran didn't speak and walked toward his son. Let's go, son. Come home with Dad. Gao Buin glanced at his father and said calmly, Take your wife home. I want to stay at Annie Hua Mian's house for the night. Chapter 39-31. Son, what did you say? Gao Ran thought he was hallucinating. Your son said he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay the night. Qin Chu repeated to Gao Ran mercilessly. Why? Son. Gao Ran looked hurt. Do you still need to ask? You don't understand your son's feelings after such a big thing. I think you've lived in vain. Zhu Lingling couldn't help but stand up. Gao Ran didn't know what to say. At this moment, Little Bean glanced at Gao Ran and said, Uncle Gao Ran, let Wei Yuan stay. You and Annie Lingling can go home first. My dad will take Wei Yuan home safely tomorrow. Don't worry. Good. Son, you're really something. You even have someone to plead for you. Ha! Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Honey, let's go home. Gao Ran glanced at Zhu Lingling. No, you can go home by yourself. Our son is staying for his future wife. Why are you staying? As a mother-in-law, how can you stay at your daughter-in-law's house? You don't know how to behave yourself. Gao Ran laughed. Get out. You're the one who doesn't know how to behave yourself. Okay, comrade Zhu Lingling, you've argued and made a scene. Go home. Don't disturb our family. Hua Mian pushed Zhu Lingling toward the door. Hey, Mian, you're so heartless. You won't even let me stay for one night? It's not that I won't let you stay. I'm just afraid you'll break down. Hua Mian glanced at Gao Ran. Let's go, honey. Don't make a scene. Gao Ran didn't want to coax his wife in front of everyone, so he held Zhu Lingling's hand shyly. The couple walked out. Bun, you really don't want to go home with us? Before leaving, Zhu Lingling glanced at her son worriedly. Goodbye, Mom. Gao Buin didn't even raise his head. He waved his hand perfunctorily, which made everyone laugh. Zhu Lingling, the couple proved an old saying in China. Fight at the head of the bed. Make up at the foot of the bed. After they leave, Qin Shu and Huo Mian go back to their bedroom. The kids play downstairs. Are you tired? I'll get you some water to soak your feet. Oh. Two. Then, Qin Shu helped Huamin to sit on the bed. She was already very heavy. He only felt that there was a weight of a few dozen kilograms on his stomach, and it felt like he was about to fall. Qin Shu carefully took off Huamin's pure white cotton socks. Then, he reached out and flicked the back of her foot gently. Why is it swollen? Does it hurt? It's like this in the third trimester. It's not a big problem. It doesn't hurt. It was the same when I was pregnant with Pudding and Little Bean. Huamin said it unintentionally, but he regretted it as soon as he said it. Because she had just realized that during that period of time, Qin Shu had not been able to participate in it. I'm sorry, honey. Why are you apologizing, idiot? I know what you're thinking. Don't worry, I don't blame myself anymore because I'm slowly making up for the time I've missed. After that, Qin Shu carefully put the socks aside and went to the bathroom to get hot water. Suddenly, a WeChat notification came from his phone. Huamin picked up his phone and looked at it. Chapter 39-32. Sister Mian, can we have dinner together tomorrow night? It was from Wei Ying. Wei Ying and Huamin weren't close, so Huamin was surprised when she asked to have dinner together. What's up? Sister Mian, Mingxi and I got remarried. Congratulations. Huamin had heard Jiang Xiaowei mention it, but didn't ask for details. So, I want to invite you all to dinner together tomorrow night. Oh, that's a good thing. Okay, send me the address and time of the restaurant. I sincerely invite you and President Qin to come, Wei Ying added. Okay, we'll be there. The next evening, at Wei Ying's invitation, they went to a private hotel owned by the Shun family. The hotel was in a remote area in the suburbs, but the decor was very classy. Shen Mingxi probably wanted to avoid the reporters. After all, his relationship with Wei Ying had been a hot topic for a long time. In the private room, almost everyone was there. Qin Shu, Huamin, Su Yu, and Tang Chuan brought Qin Ning. Gao Ren wasn't familiar with Shen Mingxi, so he and Lingling didn't come. Wei Liao and his family, on the other hand, didn't come. How about I give Master Wei a call? Tang Chuan said. It's okay, my second brother might not come. Wei Ying felt a little guilty. Wei Liao was the one who was most against her remarrying Qin Shu. While they were talking, the door of the private room was pushed open and Jiang Xiaowei walked in alone. Sis-in-law, where's my second brother? Wei Ying hurried over to take Jiang Xiaowei's bag. Oh, he had something to do and went back to the company. He asked us to eat first and not wait for him. Jiang Xiaowei's words were tactful, but everyone knew it was just an excuse. Wei Liao didn't want to come. Shen Mingxi was a bit embarrassed. He glanced at Jiang Xiaowei behind Wei Ying. Sister Xiaowei, please sit down. Don't call me Sister Xiaowei. You're remarried. You can call me sis-in-law like Ying. Dr. Jiang had always been gracious. Everyone gathered together, and the atmosphere was actually quite good. Shen Mingxi rarely ate with this group of people. Huamin and Qin Shu came early and didn't waste a moment. During the banquet, everyone drank quite happily. The more they drank, the more they talked. Even Su Yu, who had always been a man, became a little talkative. He wrapped his arms around Shen Mingxi's neck and said drunkenly, Bro, let me tell you, it's not easy to find someone you like in your life. So, cherish her. You two have known each other for almost half your life. You've been playing together since you were kids. This is fate. This time, you've regained what you lost. You have to make good use of this opportunity. I will, Lord Su. Shen Mingxi listened attentively. Old Shun, Don't listen to Lord Su. He's so drunk that he won't remember what he said tomorrow. Tang Chuan's words made everyone laugh. Bullshit. I'm very sober, Su quibbled. Lord Su, we're all settled. You're the only one who's been single for 10,000 years. How dare you talk to us about the law of love? Only Tang Chuan dared to tease Su Yu directly. He had no scruples. I'm almost there too. It sounds like you're taken? Tang Chuan jeered, and felt that his boss was a bit off today. He looked happy, but in fact he wasn't that happy. Chapter 39-33. Yes, it's not easy to find women. I have plenty of them in Imperial Star. Su Yu was indeed a little drunk, so they didn't know if he was serious or joking. Anyway, it was a happy meal. On the way back, and drove while Su Yu lay in the passenger seat with his eyes closed and didn't speak. But he knew his boss wasn't asleep. When they got home, Su Yu took off his jacket and lay down on the sofa. President Su, do you want me to pour you a cup of warm water? Su Yu waved his hand. I know you're not drunk, and added, yeah, you know me well. Of course, I've been with you for many years. And grinned. Otherwise, we can live together. Pooh. No, I don't like men, and refused without hesitation. With a smile, Su Yu stood up and leaned against the armrest of the sofa. He looked at him. What are you thinking? I'm talking about living together. You look like a bear. Do you think I won't do it? Our boss is a professional hater. Lying on the sofa, Su Yu didn't feel sleepy. He took out his cell phone and browsed through the news, Weibo, and WeChat moments. In his WeChat moments, Pudding and Little Bean posted new statuses. The two of them bought a new dress today. It was a beautiful golden gown, very beautiful. Little Bean didn't know how to take selfies, so her face was a little big but chubby and cute. Pudding had a high EQ and was good at finding angles. With the help of beauty apps, she was a super beauty. So you liked their posts but didn't say anything. It was 11:30 p.m. Suddenly, Han Yueyao also posted a status. It said, actually not all girls like money. Some kind-hearted girls also like animals. For example, I've liked Land Rovers, BMWs, Jaguars, Hummers, Bugatti Veyron, and Lynx since I was a child, right? After Su Yu finished reading, he laughed. Although he felt that it was a little old-fashioned, it was still very enjoyable to read in the middle of the night. Therefore, Su Yu had a sudden impulse and left a comment below her. If you win the championship in Dance of Allure, I will send you more than one small animal. Reading the comments, Han Yueyao was thrilled and replied immediately. President Su, are you serious? Su Yu, of course, when did I say that I don't mean it? Han Yueyao, okay. I'll take the Bugatti Veyron. Su Yu, you have a unique taste. Han Yueyao, no. It's because the Bugatti Veyron is the most expensive. Su Yu, all right, you win. Han Yueyao, if I win, will you really buy it for me? Han Yueyao asked again worriedly. Su Yu, of course, but if you get eliminated this week, you'll have to work for me for free for a year without any pay. Gee, damn it. You're indeed a capitalist. See? Do you think I'll let you take the car for free? Go, you little money grubber. Good luck. Su Yu's tone was light. He didn't seem to take N's words to heart. President Su, are you hungry? I'll treat you to a midnight snack. Excited, Han Yueyao couldn't fall asleep. In fact, she wasn't hungry, but she wanted to see Su Yu. If you invite me to Ocean Emperor, I'll go, Su Yu replied. President Su, you're heartless. You're a big boss, but I'm just a small employee. How can you treat me like that? Even if you sell me, I'm not worth the price of a meal at Ocean Emperor. Good. Go to bed. Don't talk nonsense. Su Yu didn't want to say more. After replying, he tossed his cell phone aside and sighed softly. President Su, do you have something on your mind? And knew something was wrong with his boss and had been holding it in since he came back. And what do you think I should buy for Dr. Hua's wedding? Su Yu finally asked in a low and lonely voice. Huh, Dr. Hua is holding a wedding? And was surprised because he hadn't heard anything about it. Chapter 39-34. Oh, N's reaction was so big, but Su Yu only said, oh. However, based on Su Yu's temper, The calmer he appeared on the surface, the more turbulent his heart was, and was no longer in a mood to boil water or make tea. He walked over and asked, "President Su, who said this? Did President Hu tell you?" "No, Mian wouldn't provoke me so directly. I accidentally heard Tang Chuan's wife say it." "Miss Ning said it? Then it's most likely true." Su Yu smiled and didn't say anything. "Has the date been set? It can't be soon, right? President Hua is so pregnant, she won't look good in a wedding dress," and mumbled. "She said that she'll hold it after giving birth to the boy." "Oh, that's soon." President Hua seems to be in labor soon, and didn't know much about women, but seeing that Huamin had been pregnant for so long, he thought that it was almost time. "Boss, look on the bright side. President Hua will get married sooner or later, and she's about to give birth to her second child. I've thought it through. I'm happy. I'm happy for her." When Su Yu said this, bitterness flashed through his heart. He didn't know why he was being so pretentious. That day, when he had dinner with Tang Chuan and the others, he heard Qi Ning say that Mian had been looking for wedding dresses recently. Su Yu felt a little uncomfortable. It wasn't that he was unhappy, but it wasn't that he was happy. He was the only one who knew the extent of his dilemma. In fact, he had known for a long time that Qi Ning and Hua Xiqian hadn't held a wedding. The previous one had been delayed because of Hua Xiqian's strange scheme. Now that the third child was about to be born, with how much Qin Shu loved Huamin, it was impossible for him not to hold a wedding for her. However, for some reason, whenever Su Yu thought of Huamin wearing a wedding dress and marrying someone else, he would feel sad. As long as he imagined this scene, he would feel indescribably sad. He knew that all of this stemmed from the fact that he still loved her deeply. It had never changed all these years. Everyone thought that Su Yu had almost forgotten about Huamin. But only he knew that in his heart, this heavy love would only grow deeper with the passage of time. But it wouldn't fade away, and looked at his boss's miserable expression and felt very uncomfortable in his heart. "President Su, why don't we find an excuse to sneak out at President Hua's wedding? Didn't you say that you wanted to see the aurora? Can I go with you?" "It's okay, it's in Huamian." Su Yu smiled bitterly. He didn't dare to say these words to Tang Chuan and the others. After all, it was immoral to think about a married woman all these years. Therefore, Su Yu could only talk to him for a while, which made him feel better. "Boss, I feel bad for you too," and wasn't a scholar. He only knew that Su Yu had been very good to him over the past few years, like family. Therefore, he felt bad when he saw Su Yu feel bad. "I'm fine. I was just thinking about what I should give Mian for her wedding." Su Yu's voice became softer and softer as the alcohol took over. He slowly closed his eyes and fell asleep, and picked up the blanket and covered Su Yu with it. If it was in the past, he might not be able to understand Su Yu's feelings. However, after he fell in love with Lu Yin, he gradually understood the pain of not being able to get what he wanted. To him, Lu Yin was an unreachable goddess. Then, to Su Yu, Huamin was also a bright moon that he couldn't get. At this moment, in a seaside town on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. "Psycho Chiao, what do you think I should give my sister for her wedding?" Chapter 39-35. "I think it's best if you give her a wedding," Xiao Fei said slowly. "What do you mean?" "I mean Sister Mian's wedding, and we'll have a wedding at the same time." "Ah, then my wedding will be blown up. After all, I have so many enemies." Lu Yin took it as a joke, so she laughed heartily. Besides, what she said was true. Lu Yin was always hunted down and was afraid that her whereabouts would be exposed. If they had a high-profile wedding, the wedding would be hell on earth. That was unimaginable. Lu Yin had never thought that she would have a wedding. So when Xiao Fei said this, she laughed and took it as an impossible joke. But Xiao Fei's heart ached slightly when he heard this. The woman he loved deeply, yet he couldn't complete a simple wedding for her. Then what right did he have to say he loved her? Xiao Fei put down the Russian book in his hand and walked to Lu Yin. Then he reached out and hugged her gently from behind. "Xiao Yin, I'll definitely give you a wedding. A wedding that'll be fair and square." Lu Yin was slightly surprised at first, but then she smiled warmly. "Okay, I'll wait." I'll live until that day comes. Inside the Shun family's mansion, Tian left 3 days ago. Shun Mingxi asked the teacher to pick her up and bring her a lot of clothes. Jing City wasn't far. Compared to other countries, it wasn't far. Shun Mingxi was a bit sad, but Tian didn't cry. She was quite happy. She took her favorite dolls and clothes with her. Shun Mingxi paid for 1 year's expensive tuition and living expenses. He also gave Tian's life teacher a credit card. Of course, the teacher didn't dare to spend too much. After all, there was a record of credit card transactions. After Shun Mingxi and Wei Ying got their marriage certificate, they treated everyone to a low-key meal. Although Wei Liao didn't show up, he did a good job. At least he sent Jiang Xiaowei. In the study, Shun Mingxi was organizing the company's files. Wearing gold-rimmed glasses, Wei Ying was with him while drawing designs on her notebook. After Tian left, the last thing between them seemed to be gone. After being together again, they cherished each other. Ying, are you tired? Shun Mingxi looked at her. Wei Ying shook her head. Shall I get you a cup of coffee? I want to drink it. I'll make it myself. You go to your thing. Shun Mingxi nodded. Suddenly, he thought of something and said, Tomorrow is the 3rd day of the year, right? According to the rules, I should visit your house. It's okay. You do what you need to do. I'll go back and take a look myself. My parents have already calmed down. Don't. We can't break the rules set by our ancestors. I'll accompany you. I'll also get someone to prepare the returning gifts and bring them over. All right. Wei Ying was happy that Shun Mingxi wasn't as cold as he used to be. He seemed to be considerate of others in everything he did. The two of them worked until late at night, and it was finally time to sleep. In fact, ever since the two of them remarried, they had never slept together. To be more precise, Wei Ying and Shun Mingxi hadn't been intimate for years after their divorce. The last time the media caught them at the hotel, it was because Wei Ying was drugged and Shun Mingxi gave her a cold bath. Later, when Wei Ying moved into the Shun family's house, she slept in the master bedroom, while Shun Mingxi slept in the guest bedroom. They hadn't done anything intimate until now. Finally, all the knots in their hearts were gone. Ying, take a shower and go to bed. What about you? Wei Ying looked at him. How about, I still sleep in the guest bedroom? Shun Mingxi asked shyly. Chapter 39-36. So, you're going to sleep in the guest bedroom for the rest of your life? Wei Ying looked at him, amused. Fine. Since you're so virtuous, you can sleep in the guest bedroom. I'm going to lock the door. Wei Ying pushed open the door to the master bedroom and was about to lock the door. Shun Mingxi squeezed his way in. What are you doing? Wei Ying looked up. I want to sleep here, Shun Mingxi said earnestly. Wei Ying blushed slightly. Don't you like sleeping in the guest bedroom? No. I've always wanted to sleep in this room, but I'm afraid you'll kick me out. Silly. Wei Ying was both amused and exasperated. Caught off guard, Shun Mingxi pushed her down onto the thick carpet. Whoa. What are you doing? Doing my homework. It seemed that Shun Mingxi had been holding back for a long time now, that he had spoken so bluntly. I haven't showered yet. Wait for me to shower. Wei Ying found it too sudden. You'll shower later. His words were as gentle as water. Wei Ying fell into his spell and couldn't wake up. She fell into depravity with Shun Mingxi until she leaped to the peak of happiness. At South Hill Manor, after breakfast, Huamin and Qin Chu went out and got in the car together. Aside from prenatal checkups, shopping, and dates, Huamin went to the company with Qin Chu most of the time. They worked diligently together. It's only a dozen meters away from the car. Daddy has to hold Mommy's hand. Humph. Little Bean was jealous. If you dare, go and tell Daddy to ignore Mommy. Pudding provoked her. Of course. Why don't you go and tell him? If I do, I'll be left out. You know, Mommy is more important to Daddy than the two of us combined. No, you're wrong. The two of us plus the baby in Mommy's belly are more important to him than Mommy. Pudding corrected her. So I don't dare to tell him. Then don't talk about it behind his back. That's so cruel. No, I'll tell Buyan. Little Bean picked up her phone and started a video call with Gao Buyan. Pudding sat on the sofa and watched the news seriously. One good thing about Pudding was that she never fought with her family to watch TV. She looked at whatever everyone was looking at. Her grandfather looked at the lecture room of the 100 schools, so she followed suit. Her grandmother watched the 8 o'clock mother-in-law and daughter-in-law drama, and she watched it too. She was interested in the financial news when her daddy came back. When Mommy came back, she watched the medical lecture and followed along. Of course, even when Little Bean was bored and went to watch Peppa Pig and Peter Pan, she would still watch them. Therefore, Pudding's family always had a good impression of her and said that she was a tolerant child. Since there were no classes in the morning, the twins decided to play at home. Holding the phone, Little Bean went to harass Gao Buyin. Pudding sat beside her grandfather and watched a treasure appraisal program with him. Grandma washed some fruits and gave them to the grandfather and grandson. Then, she went with the maid to prepare dumplings for lunch. This thing is good. It can't be found in the market anymore. Old Master Cheen praised the wooden carving on the television. Grandpa, you like it? Yes, I like it. I think it's very romantic to drink tea. But your father has never liked it. He says it's rustic, Cheen Shu's father said with a smile. Then, Pudding picked up her phone and made a call. After hanging up, Pudding said, Grandpa, I bought the thing you liked just now. Cheen Shu's father. Chapter 39-37. What did you buy this? The things that are appraised are all treasures that have fallen into the hands of the common people. After they are appraised as genuine, some will be sold at the auction house, while others will be kept waiting for buyers. I know a friend in this field and just called him. He said that he still has it and will probably send it to us at noon. Cheen Shu's father, perhaps he thought that his granddaughter was still young, so he didn't take it seriously. Now, after watching a show and casually saying that he liked it, this girl bought it. Moreover, she only made one call and said that she had a friend in this field. What kind of world was Cheen Shu's father living in? Am I really that old? Pudding, how much did you spend on it? Old Master Cheen knew that this wooden carving wasn't cheap, especially the completed wooden carving that he had just seen. It's not expensive, Pudding said casually. How much is it not expensive? The appraisal shop quoted 17 million. My friend said that if I want it, it'll be 15 million. 15 million? Cheen Shu's father was really excited. Although he had been an entrepreneur his whole life and was a tycoon, he had retired from his life. It had been a long time since he had dealt with large amounts of money. Many of the expensive things at home were bought by Cheen Shu and Huamin. Last month, he went to the antique market with his old friend and saw a string of beads that cost 600,000 yuan. He couldn't bear to sell it. Now, his granddaughter had bought a wooden carving worth 15 million in less than a minute. This was really exciting. Pudding, this is too expensive. No, quickly call them and return it. Old Master Cheen didn't want his granddaughter to buy it. Grandpa, it's rare for you to like something. Just take it. Not to mention 15 million. Even if it's 150 million, as long as you're happy, I'm willing to pay. Pudding's words brought tears to the old man's eyes. I'm really satisfied to have such an obedient and filial granddaughter like you in my life. Grandpa, this is all my money. I earned it by trading stocks. It's not my father's, nor is it our company's. I'm giving it to you with my own money. Don't feel bad. You child, your own money is money too. It doesn't grow on trees. As long as you're happy, it's worth it. I won't return it. Send it over at noon. I'll drink tea with Grandpa. Okay. I'll soak the bilyuakun that your father brought back for me a while ago. Yes. The sound of the grandfather and grandson's laughter could be heard from upstairs. Mrs. Cheen deliberately scared Little Bean. Look at your sister. She's so good at pleasing Grandpa. I'm just afraid that we won't dote on her when your brother comes out. All you do is video chat with Buyuan all day long. You don't know how to spend time with Grandpa and Grandma. Aren't you afraid that you'll fall out of favor? Fall out of favor? That's impossible. Little Bean smiled. How can it not exist? Grandma teased her deliberately. Just based on the fact that my father's blood flows in my body, the blood of our Cheen family, all of you must love me. Little Bean's words made Grandma laugh heartily. Her words were crude, but the truth was not crude. Grandma deliberately went downstairs to tell Grandpa, putting these words. Grandpa also laughed and said, "My little bean is very smart. Who said she doesn't have enough EQ? Really? Her EQ is very high. It's just lower than mine. Don't misunderstand." Pudding laughed. GK headquarters. Huamin fell asleep on the sofa in the office. After Chu tucked him in. He went through documents until noon. Huamin slept for about an hour. When he woke up, he said that he was hungry. "Honey, let's go to the cafeteria for lunch." "I'm so hungry. Let's not go to the cafeteria today. I'll take you to a good place." Chu smiled mysteriously and reached out to pull Huamin up. Chapter 39-38. Huamin knew that every time her husband smiled mysteriously, it meant that something good was about to happen. Mr. Qin would only show this kind of expression when he was planning a surprise for her. After a while, Huamin understood her husband's routine. She didn't ask any questions and let Mr. Qin hold her hand the whole way. They drove to the top floor of GK's first high school restaurant downtown. President Qin, Mrs. Qin, the restaurant manager, led them through the long hallway. "Are they here?" Chu asked casually. "They're here. They're waiting for you inside." The manager smiled. "Okay." Chu nodded and led Huamin to the door. "Do you know who's inside?" Chu asked Huamin. Huamin shook his head, then opened the door and see. Huamin gently pushed open the door and was excited to see the two people sitting inside. "Rick, Cece." Huamin ignored her heavy body and quickly walked to the table. Cece immediately stood up, and the two heavy pregnant women hugged each other. Chu smiled and sat down beside Rick. "How was it? Was the long flight tiring?" Chu asked him. "It was okay." Rick was probably the only man in the world who spoke less than Chu. He never talked nonsense and always went straight to the point. "Cece, you're about to give birth, right?" Rick looked at Cece's belly, which was about the same size as his. "Yeah, it's about the same as your due date." "Wow, that's great. It's so inconvenient for you to come back at this time. You're pregnant and you're on a long flight. What are you going to do when you get back?" Huamin was an authoritative gynecologist, so he knew a lot of general knowledge. Pregnant women should try to avoid flying when they were about to give birth. After all, it was bumpy at high altitude. If something happened, there were no rescue measures on the plane. Therefore, it was not advisable for pregnant women to fly back and forth, especially since Cece and the others had flown back from the United States. It was a long flight that took more than 10 hours. "This time, I'm not going back. I plan to give birth to the child in China." Huamin was shocked. She had not expected this at all. Huamin looked at Rick on the other side, as if seeking confirmation. "The medical standards in the country are very advanced now. When I'm overseas, I often go out. I'm worried about leaving her alone. It's better to have more friends here." "That's great." Huamin grabbed Cece's hand, genuinely happy from the bottom of her heart. "Have you thought about how to give birth?" Huamin asked Cece. "I want to give birth naturally because I'm still young and exercise a lot. I even do yoga for pregnant women, so I want to try giving birth naturally." Huamin patted his chest and laughed. How hurtful. I almost forgot that I'm an older woman." "Sister Mian, are you going to do a C-section?" "I haven't thought about it yet. I'll see." Huamin had indeed been thinking about this problem. During dinner, Cece and Huamin went to the washroom. Only Chu and Rick were left in the private room. Chu played with Rick's lighter in his hand. Then he asked in a low voice, "Has the situation been tense over there recently?" Chu was not as gullible as women. He knew that something must have happened over there since Rick suddenly sent his wife and child back. "Yeah, it's very tense. Do you need my help?" "Not yet. I'll let you know when I need it." "How long do you plan to stay?" Chu tilted his head and looked at him. 2 or 3 days. Then I'll go to Colombia to check on the goods." "Colombia is very chaotic. Don't you have enemies there?" "Yes. So I want you to pass on a message to Lu Yan. Is she willing to help me deliver the goods?" "You want to ask Yan for help?" Chu was surprised. With Rick's personality, he rarely asked for help. Even Chu himself rarely asked for help. But this time, he asked for help from Lu Yan. Did the sun rise from the west? Chapter 39:39. Rick nodded. Looks like you're really in trouble. Otherwise, you wouldn't have asked Lu Yin for help. Qin Shu guessed. Yes, I did run into a problem. The Colombian drug lords have hired a man named Caslius. He's the leader of a terrorist organization and his methods are cruel. Killing people is as simple as eating and drinking. He's already killed a lot of my people. So far, I haven't found anyone who can suppress him. Of course, if it wasn't for Cece's pregnancy, I would have fought him myself. But now, it seems like I'm still worried. So, you want Lu Yin to deal with Casillas? Qin Shu said for him. Apparently, the person Casillas fears the most is Lu Yin. He's been defeated twice by Lu Yin. Once, Lu Yin pierced his lung and almost killed him. So, it's a defeated opponent. Then, Yin probably isn't interested. She'd rather challenge someone who's difficult. Qin Shu smiled. I won't let Lu Yin do this for free. I know I have to pay her. If you know the rules, why don't you just ask Yin? Qin Shu said on purpose. I'm not looking for you because of Lu Yin. Can you give me a fair price? Rick looked like a wronged wife. Qin Shu almost laughed out loud. So, you asked me to help you bargain. The two men were talking in the private room. The two women were in the washroom at the end of the corridor, and they were talking about something private. Sister Mian, other than waiting for the delivery, I also want to attend your wedding with President Qin. Huamin smiled happily. Sister Mian, how are the wedding preparations going? We just started. After all, I can't wear a wedding dress in my current state. We'll decide on the date after the baby is born. But if you stay in China, I'm sure you'll be able to make it. Okay. Cece washed her hands and wiped them with a piece of tissue. Cece, yeah, how's your sister? Huamin remembered Niao Lingxian. The last time he saw her was on the cruise. Cece's eyes dimmed at the mention of her sister. Ever since my sister came back to China and found out that she was hypnotized and almost hurt Lord Su, she has been very dispirited. You know, she has always loved Lord Su very much. How could she bear to hurt him? You can't blame her for that. The bad guys took advantage of the situation, Huamin comforted. Yes, I told her that too, but she couldn't figure it out. She kept thinking that it was her fault. When she went back, she didn't go to the college to further her studies. I asked her to stay in New Orleans with me, but she wasn't in the mood. Later, her manager said that she would bring her out for a trip. She's in California now, but she's still not in good condition. Give her some time. She'll get better. Huamin liked Niao Lingxian and thought she was gentle and kind. Of course, Suyu wasn't a good match for her. After all, she was too soft and couldn't suppress Suyu. With Suyu's hot temper, she had to fight fire with fire. He was fierce, so she had to be fiercer than him. Okay, I also believe that my sister will get better. Oh, right, how's Lord Su? Does he have a girlfriend? No, I really don't know if my sister will have a chance in the future. Cece smiled helplessly, although she knew the chances were slim. Suyu will get married sooner or later. He will never be alone. Huamin's words were like a prophecy or a promise for Suyu. Sister Mian, in his heart, he's always loved you, right? Cece's voice was very low and soft. After all, this topic was a bit heavy for Huamin. Chapter 39:40. Before Huamin could answer, someone knocked on the bathroom door. Mrs. Hua, are you still in there? It was the bodyguard from South Hill Manor. Yes, Huamin immediately answered. Mr. Hua was worried about you and Miss Cece, so he asked me to check on you. We're fine. We'll go back now. They didn't dare to waste any more time. These two pregnant women were the apple of the man's eye. Huamin pulled Cece out of the bathroom and went back to the private room. The four of them chatted and ate for about 2 hours before leaving. Rick sent Cece back to her parents' home with several bodyguards protecting her. Her situation was similar to Huamin's. Huamian and Qin Shu, on the other hand, returned to GK. In the afternoon, Jixin suddenly rushed into the office. Sis, brother-in-law, what's wrong? Why are you running around? Huamin put down the book in his hand and looked at Jixin, who was in a panic. Sis, brother-in-law, Mom just called and said, take your time, take your time. Qin Shu closed the laptop in front of him and looked at Jixin calmly. I ran so much. I'll take my time, Mom just called and asked us to go back as soon as possible. There's an emergency at home. Why didn't she call me? Huamin was surprised. She said your phone was off. Huamin picked up his phone and looked at it. Indeed, his phone had run out of battery and he didn't have time to charge it. Did Mom say anything? What's so urgent? Huamian already had a rough idea of what was going on. Mom said it's great news. Anyways, let's go back. Bella is waiting for us downstairs to get the car from the garage. Okay, you can go now. We'll be there in a minute. Chu nodded. Then, Jixin ran downstairs like crazy. It was obvious that he was very excited. After Jixin left, Chu and Huamin looked at each other. There was a tacit understanding in their eyes. Hubby, he's here, isn't he? Chu had already guessed. Yeah, what's coming will come. I knew it. Huamin took in a deep breath. Don't be afraid. I'll face it with you. Chu knew that Huamin was very nervous and concerned about this matter. Jixin and Bella drove off first, and Chu and Huamin arrived shortly after. Sky blessing court as soon as Huamin entered the door. He was attracted by a figure. That person, she was sitting on the sofa, and although her gaze was a little sluggish, but her face, her looks, her figure, and even her clothes, that was Uncle Jing himself. Huamin had lived with her for more than 10 years, so he was very familiar with this. Although Huamin knew it might be strange, the moment he saw Jingda, he was shocked. Her eyes were still wet with tears. Uncle Jing, she said in a low voice. Chu didn't have a deep impression of Jingda because back then, they were still in school and had only met a few times, so they didn't have deep feelings for each other. Dad, Jixin's reaction was huge. He rushed over and knelt before the man, tears streaming down his face. Bella was a little flustered and didn't know what to do. After all, when she and Jixin started dating, Jingda had been dead for more than 10 years. Yang Meirong stood beside Jingda, tears streaming down her face. Jingda didn't speak, but he reached out and touched Jixin's head. Dad, I'm not dreaming, right? Are you really back? Are you really back? Jixin grabbed his father's hand tightly, feeling very emotional. Chu hadn't spoken since he came in. He quietly put his hand on Huamin's shoulder and hugged him tightly. Chapter 39:41. Do you remember him, Dad? Yang Meirong looked at Jingda with tears in her eyes. This is my son, Jixin. Uncle Jing finally spoke. His voice was the same as before, but his tone and expression were a bit strange. Dad, it's really you. Dad, I missed you so much. I've missed you so much all these years. At this moment, Jixin was like a child, crying miserably. His tears flowed out like a fountain. Each wave was fiercer than the last. Jing held Jixin in his arms, and Bella, who was watching the reunion of mother and son, couldn't help but shed tears. However, Chu watched it all coldly and became even more cautious. Even Huamin was affected by the scene, and Chu was the only one who remained sane. After crying for a long time, Jixin stood up and Yang Meirong waved at Huamin. Mian, come here. Huamian walked over with her big belly, and Chu followed closely behind. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to stop any sudden danger. Dad, do you remember who this is? Yang Meirong pointed at Huamin and said to Huamin in a choked voice. Jingda glanced at Huamin and his eyes flashed. Is this Mian? His question made Huamian very excited, as if he wasn't sure. She rushed over and tugged at Jingda's clothes, crying, Uncle Jing, it's me. I'm Mian. Mian, you're so big now. His words were like tear gas, making Yang Meirong, Jixin, and Huamin cry together. Finally, after the scene, everyone calmed down. Then, the family sat around the sofa. Mom, what on earth is going on? Huamin naturally wanted to know the details. After all, the fact that a dead person could come back to life was too terrifying and unscientific. Yeah, Mom, where did you find Dad? I went with you to identify his body and bury him. How did he? Jixin couldn't believe it either. Yang Meirong smiled and looked at Jingda. Why don't you tell the children? Jingda nodded and said slowly, In fact, my memory is not complete. I only remember some scattered things. When I woke up, I was in a small town in Europe. I had no past, no memories, and no identity. No one knew where I came from. Later, these memories gradually appeared in my dreams, and I followed them to this place. In fact, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I was reborn, transmigrated, or my soul was entrusted to another body. But I know that I am Jingda, and you are my family. After all, I only have you in my memory, and I don't remember anything else. How is that possible? Jixin was shocked. Huamin, on the other hand, looked much calmer than before. Qin Shu listened quietly and didn't speak. I met your dad when I was buying groceries at the market. At that time, your dad was standing there in a daze. Old He, who was selling fish, has been our neighbor for many years. He recognized him at a glance and called out his name. I rushed over to take a look. It was really him, so I brought him back. Later, I found out that although he had lost some of his memories, he still remembered most of them. He could even accurately tell me my birthday, the old house we used to live in, our neighbors back then, and so many more. He remembered them all. I think God has opened his eyes and allowed your dad to be reborn. Yang Meirong said to Jixin in excitement. Uncle Jing, you came back from Europe. It's such a long journey. How did you come back without any identification? Qin Shu looked at him and asked word for word. Chapter 3942. Jingda replied calmly. Well, I went to the Chinese consulate and told them about my situation. They compared the information and thought that Jingda and I were a perfect match. So they gave me a new ID card and went back to China. But to be honest, I really don't remember when I woke up and what happened before. Anyway, I went back to China after I woke up, and it was only a few days in total. Later, I checked some information and found that there was such a precedent in the West. It was said that after a man died many years ago, his soul traveled into a child's body. The child took all his memories and went to find his relatives. It's really mysterious. Many foreign experts also agree that people have past and present lives. It's said that the world's most powerful hypnotist can hypnotize people into their previous 9 lives and remember what kind of people they were in their previous 9 lives. It's really mysterious. Uncle Jing, you're so well prepared and knowledgeable. Qin Shu smiled as if there was a hidden meaning in his words. But Jixin and Yang Meirong didn't get it. Oh my God. I can't believe that old Jing came back to life. If people knew about this, they'd be scared to death, thinking that he came back to life. Yang Meirong said, as she held Jing's hand affectionately. So, Dad, you were the person I saw at the entrance of the Civil Affairs Bureau that day? Jixin suddenly remembered what happened that day. Yeah, I just came back and went to the old house to look for you guys. But it was demolished, so I wandered around the streets. Until today, I ran into old He and your mom at the market. Jing to put his big hand on Yang Meirong's. Sis, this is great news. We must celebrate. Ha, Dad is back. Jixin was as happy as a child, just like Yang Meirong. Huamin nodded with a smile. Of course we must celebrate. It's great news. I'll go make dumplings. You guys talk. Yang Meirong was very happy and went straight into the kitchen. Dad, let me make tea for you. I remember that you used to love tea, Guinyin. Back then, we were poor, and you always went to other people's houses for tea. Now that we're rich, Sis always buys me and Mom the best tea, Guinyin. You should try it. Jixin hurried to make tea for Jingda. Bella sensibly followed her mother-in-law to the kitchen to help. Hubby, I just remembered that we still have some wine in the car. Let's go get it. You and Uncle Jing can drink some later. All right, I'll go now. I'll go with you. There's some food in the trunk. Huamin found an excuse and left with Qin Shu. After walking for about 10 meters, Qin Shu activated the anti-eavesdropping device and nodded to Huamin. What he meant was that it was safe now. You can say whatever you want. Honey, I observe him from close distance. He didn't wear a mask. Yin told me how to identify a mask, so I paid special attention to his ears just now. I didn't find anything wrong with his ears at such a close distance. Do you really believe that he is Uncle Jing? Qin Shu asked her. How's that possible? I don't believe that a dead person can come back to life in broad daylight. Besides, if he is Uncle Jing, then who is buried in the North Mountain Cemetery? Huamin sneered. This person is just as we expected. He showed up twice to set the stage, but avoided all the surveillance cameras and didn't let us find him. Now, he suddenly appeared in your house and tried to pretend to be your family. This is really strange. Mian, we have to be careful. I can feel that our enemy is very powerful. Behind this, there may be dangers that we can't imagine. Qin Shu took Huamin's hand and warned her again. Chapter 39:43. Yes, honey, I can feel it. Why don't you leave it to me? I'm afraid You're afraid I won't be able to do it because of my feelings and guilt towards Uncle Jing? Huamin knew what Qin Shu was going to say. Qin Shu was silent, but it meant that he agreed with her. Huamin walked up to Qin Shu and reached out to touch his handsome face. Hubby, I won't. I'm very clear. The Uncle Jing who used to treat me well and dote on me died more than 10 years ago and turned into a pile of dirt. Even if this man in front of me looks exactly the same and has the same memories, he can't be Uncle Jing. He reeks of conspiracy from head to toe. I didn't ask him in detail just now, but I bet if I ask too much, he'll be full of loopholes. When you saw his expression just now, I was really worried. Qin Shu said, You were worried that I'd be brainwashed and fooled by him, right? No, I was just acting to make him think that I believed him. Smart, honey. Hearing Huamin's words, Qin Shu was very pleased. Honey, when we go back, Jixin and I will accompany him. You find a chance to tell Bella that she and Jixin will live at Sky Blessing Court from today onward, and supervise that person to protect Mom and Jixin. Huamin nodded. Can Bella shoulder such a big responsibility? I'm worried. Honey, don't worry. This person went through so much trouble to come back. He definitely didn't come to destroy my family. I can guarantee that he won't do anything big for now. You're right. Okay, I'll make it short with Bella later. Bella has always been calm and smart. Make it short and don't let that person find out, and don't let my mom hear, Huamin instructed. Okay, I'm just worried that Mom and Jixin won't be able to take it when they see his true face. Qin Shu felt that the cruelest thing in the world was to use the identity of a dead person to deceive the feelings of the living. Huamin didn't know what kind of power was behind this man. He didn't know how he managed to look exactly like Jingda. Maybe it was plastic surgery? However, this was a heaven-shaking conspiracy. It was definitely not a blessing from the heavens. After the couple finished their discussion, they returned to the house with the wine and fruits. Then, he saw Yang Meirong and Bella carrying steaming hot dumplings to the table. Uncle Jing, do you still remember what kind of stuffing we usually eat at home? Huamin asked with a smile. Jingda paused for about 5 seconds before he said slowly, shrimp with chives. It's great that Dad still remembers. I feel like we've returned to the past. Jixin was very naive and really believed that his father was back. He was even more excited when Jingda answered Huamin's question correctly. The family of 5 sat at the table and started eating dumplings. Yang Meirong didn't eat much herself and kept putting dumplings into Jingda's bowl. Dad, eat more. Okay, that's enough. I can't eat all of this. Jingda smiled and lowered his head to eat the dumplings. Uncle Jing, were you alone when you came back from Europe? Didn't you get anything good from there? Qin Shu asked casually. No, not a single person. That's strange. How did you appear thousands of miles away? I wonder if someone moved you there, Qin Shu said in a low voice. Everyone heard it loud and clear. Maybe my dad was brought there by lightning or a flash of light after he was reborn. That's how it's written in novels about rebirth and time travel. Right. My dad died in a car accident, right? Maybe my dad's soul was already in this world when the car accident happened. Haha. Jixin's imagination ran wild. Huamin said with a smile, but reality isn't a novel. It's not that ridiculous and dramatic. Jingda's hand that was about to eat the dumplings paused slightly. He seemed to have mixed feelings about Huamin's words. Chapter 39:44. Okay. Let's not talk about this. Let's eat. Yang Meirong was bored by the children's conversation and hurried to eat. During the meal, Huamin didn't say anything else. Daddy, you'll stay here today, right? Jixin said happily. Of course. Where else can we stay? Yang Meirong said with a smile. Jixin, you and Bella can stay here. The house is big, and you can spend time with Uncle Jing. Huamin asked Jixin and his wife to move back. Haha, okay. I was thinking the same thing. Dad, you won't mind if we come back to eat and drink, right? Jixin put his arm around Jing's shoulder. Of course not. Hee. Jingda chuckled. But if you looked closely, you would find that his smile was still unnatural. On the way back, Huamin didn't say a word. Honey, are you okay? Qin Shu was worried about Huamin. I'm fine. What are you thinking about? I'm thinking about going to Southside tomorrow to do a DNA test to see who Uncle Jing is. DNA test. You'll get his. Qin Shu didn't finish his sentence. Obviously, Huamin already had the DNA test. Huamin raised his hand with a smile. There was a short strand of black hair in his hand. You're amazing, honey. How did you get this? Qin Shu admired Huamin's cleverness. He got Jingda's hair without a sound. Once the DNA test was done and there was evidence, he could convince his mother-in-law and brother-in-law and tell them that this person was not their husband and father at all. Since you got it, why do you still look worried? Qin Shu tilted his head and found Huamin didn't look happy. Hubby, do you think those people who are hiding behind the scenes and plotting against us will be so easily seen through by us? If it was really so easy to see through it, why would they go through so much trouble to create such a person? So you mean? Yi Zichen asked. It's nothing. I'm just worried that the results tomorrow might be different from what we expected. Qin Shu reached out his hand and placed it on Huamin's leg. Calm down. Genes can't be easily manufactured. Otherwise, this would be the biggest joke in biology. I'm very calm. I'm fine. After returning home, she saw that Huamin was still in low spirits. Finally, Qin Shu decided to let her talk to Lu Yan. Of course, it was late at night when Qin Shu carefully activated several anti-eavesdropping and anti-tracking devices. In the study, he dialed Lu Yan's number. At this time, Huamin had already changed in her nightgown and walked in with a big belly. Hubby, why did you call me? Qin Shu didn't say anything. He just stood up and put the earphones on her ears. A very familiar voice came from inside, sister. Little Yan, hearing Lu Yan's voice, Huamin finally smiled with relief. Sis, it's late over there. You're still awake? No, I haven't been sleeping well lately. I'm always awake. That's because you're about to have a baby. Sis, do you miss me? Of course I miss you. Although she was scolding Lu Yan, Huamin couldn't help but smile. I miss you a lot, too. How about this? I'll go back when you're about to give birth. I'll go to the hospital with you. No, Huamin refused without hesitation. Why? Are you afraid that I'll go back and freeload? I don't eat much. 1 Australian lobster, 5 pounds of shark fin, and 1 king crab every day. Lu Yan joked. Chapter 39:45. No, I'm afraid you're in danger. Huamin vaguely remembered Qin Shu mentioning that Lu Yan was in trouble, especially Zheng Rou's disappearance, which was rumored to be Lu Yan's doing. In order to find his daughter, Secretary Zheng had offered a big bounty on Lu Yan's head. Lu Yan was like a fish in water when she was abroad. But in China, if her whereabouts were leaked, she would be in big trouble. Wasn't he being caught red-handed? You're afraid that old man Zheng will give me a hard time, right? Don't worry. I'm not afraid of people with higher ranks than him, let alone him. Plus, he's obviously stupid. Zheng Rou isn't in my hands. I don't know how he could believe the rumors. Lu Yan didn't seem worried about Secretary Zheng. He could even joke around with Huamian and even talk about family matters. Sis, do Pudding and Lil Bean miss me? Yes, they talk about you all the time. Little Bean is talkative and murmurs your name. Pudding doesn't talk much, but she looks at your WeChat for a long time. Hearing your description, I feel so happy that I'm about to cry. Lu Yan was filled with happiness at the thought of her 2 nieces. Yan, have you contacted Dad recently? How's he? Huamian had been worried about the professor. He was an old man, after all, and it was sad for him to live in hiding like this. We haven't contacted each other in a long time, but Dad should be fine. If something happens, we'll send an emergency signal. But don't worry, the old man is smarter than I am. He'll be fine. Okay, that's good. You and Dad must take care of yourselves. Huamin reminded her repeatedly. Sis, after I take care of this garbage, I'll go back to see you and give birth to baby Chu with you. Take care of yourself and don't run around with my brother-in-law. I know. Huamin smiled with tears in his eyes. Honey, Qin Chu reminded her in a low voice. It was time. If the conversation was too long, it would be very easy to be tracked. Huamin understood what Qin Chu meant, so he quickly added, Don't bully Fei. Stay with him, don't get into trouble, and drink more water. Don't eat cold food when you're on your period. Don't fight and don't get hurt. Before Huamin could finish his sentence, she saw that the time was almost up and quickly hung up the phone. Then, she took a deep breath. Hubby, am I super long-winded? You must think that I'm possessed by Tang Sung. Huamin raised his head and laughed with tears in his eyes. No, you're the best sister in the world. Mr. Qin cupped Huamin's face in his hands and kissed her. His wife was always so gentle and cute in front of her beloved family. On the other end of the phone, Lu Yin slowly took off her earphones. She knew that her sister's words were cut short because time was up. Her sister's unfinished words were like waves of heat to her, blowing against her face. Growing up, no one told her that she couldn't eat cold food when she was on her period. So, over the years, Lu Yin had been eating ice cream and drinking Coke all the time, causing her menstrual cramps. Of course, these little problems were nothing to Lu Yin. After all, she was a tough woman who wouldn't even frown if she was shot twice. What's wrong? Why do you look so weird? Xiao Fei walked over and saw Lu Yin's blank expression. Chapter 3946. My sister is so naggy. Lu Yin rubbed the back of her head and smiled mischievously. Lu Yin was so bright and cute that even Xiao Fei couldn't move his eyes away from her. He was deeply attracted to her. Hey, Psycho Xiao, what are you doing? Caught off guard. Lu Yin was kissed by him for a long time. Of course, she was used to this kind of intimacy and didn't push him away as violently as before. At the entrance of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, when it was almost time to get off work, Gao Ran packed up his files and walked into the lobby when he saw Chun Yuning, who he hadn't seen for days. Chief Gao, little Chun, you're back. Gao Ran still looked unnatural. Yeah, I came to deliver some files for our bureau and came to see you guys. Chun Yuning smiled brightly and innocently. Those who didn't know her would be attracted to her. Chief Gao, little Chun bought us hot coffee. A policewoman held up the Starbucks in her hand. Chief Gao, if you don't mind, this is for you. Chun Yuning walked over with the hot coffee and looked at Gao Ran shyly. Oh, I've been suffering from insomnia recently, so I don't drink coffee. But I appreciate your kindness. Thank you. Gao Ran didn't dare to touch this woman, especially after he knew her true colors. The more innocent and cute Chun Yuning acted, the more scared he was. After much consideration, he preferred his silly woman. Lingling was hot-tempered, but she was real. If the woman beside him wore a mask all the time, the scene would be terrifying. Chief Gao, on the day I left, I was in a bad mood and didn't have time to say goodbye to you. Since you don't have to work overtime, I'd like to invite you to dinner, okay? Of course, if you don't come, I won't invite you to dinner. This little girl's strength lay in her ability to speak skillfully. It was clearly a threat, but it sounded like a spoiled child. Her meaning was obvious. If Gao Ran refused her request and didn't go, she wouldn't invite him to dinner. At this moment, everyone looked at Gao Ran expectantly. Director, you won't refuse, right? That's right, Chief. Let's go and relax. The atmosphere in the bureau has been too tense recently. Chief Gao, why don't we let ourselves loose occasionally? Chief, let's split the money. After all, there's so many people. Don't let Xiao Chun take it alone, okay? It seemed that everyone had a good impression of Chun Yuning. With so many people pleading for him, Gao Ran would definitely be unreasonable if he didn't agree. Therefore, after a moment of silence, he replied, All right, let's have a meal together, but I'll pay for the bill. Oh yeah, long live Chief Gao. Haha, we must eat well today. It's rare for our director to treat us. After Gao Ran agreed, everyone seemed very happy. A satisfied smile appeared on Chen Yuning's face. Gao Ran then sent a WeChat message to Zhu Lingling. Wife, are you there? Yes. There's a dinner party at the city bureau tonight, so I'll be back later. Okay. In fact, Gao Ran really wanted to tell Zhu Lingling that Chen Yuning was there, but Lingling hadn't been doing well recently. If he told her, it would be troublesome. After hesitating for a while, Gao Ran didn't mention that Chen Yuning would also be at the dinner party. Zhu Lingling thought it would be an ordinary dinner party, so she agreed without hesitation. There were about 26 people in the municipal bureau in total, and 27 including Chen Yuning. They all wanted to eat Sichuan cuisine, so they found a Sichuan restaurant. During the dinner, Chen Yuning didn't show any unusual behavior and kept a distance from Gao Ran. This made Gao Ran let down his guard. Then Gao Ran stood up to go to the washroom, and Chen Yuning followed him. Chapter 39:47. The moment Gao Ran entered the men's washroom, Chen Yuning followed him in and bumped into Gao Ran on purpose. Hey you, Lin Fan said. Gao Ran was about to scold her when he saw it was Chen Yuning, and he froze. This is the men's washroom, he reminded her. I'm sorry, Director Gao. I drank too much. Huh, I went to the wrong washroom, Chen Yuning said while swaying on purpose. It's okay. Go to the next room. Gao Ran thought it was embarrassing for a woman to go to the wrong washroom. Chen Yuning nodded and turned around, but she slipped and fell backward just as she was about to kiss the ground. Gao Ran reached out his hand at the critical moment and helped her up. That was how he saved her life. Thank you, Director Gao. It's okay. Go. Okay. Chen Yuning stood up and stumbled out with her hands covering her face. Gao Ran continued to go to the washroom, not noticing anything wrong. 5 minutes later, Zhu Lingling was squeezing fresh juice for Gao Buiyuan. She heard a beep from her cell phone. She unlocked her cell phone and saw a photo. In the photo, Gao Ran seemed to be holding Chen Yuning in his arms. Of course, the photo wasn't clear and was blurry. They seemed to be in the washroom. However, Zhu Lingling would never mistake the silhouettes of these two people, especially her own husband. Zhu Lingling's heart sank when she saw the photo. Seeing that the person who sent the photo was from a strange number, she knew it must be Chen Yuning's doing. But the photo didn't seem to be photoshopped. Zhu Lingling put down the unfinished juice in her hand. She picked up her cell phone and called Gao Ran. Gao Ran stood up and walked to the corridor to answer the call. Honey. Honey, are you still having dinner? Yeah. Where? In a Sichuan restaurant downtown. Oh, are they your colleagues? Yes. Is Chen Yuning there? Hearing Zhu Lingling's question, Gao Ran realized something was wrong. So, he chose to tell her the truth. She's there. Why didn't you tell me at the beginning? Zhu Lingling sounded angry. Because I didn't want you to be angry. So I'm not angry now. Zhu Lingling raised her voice in anger. Lingling, if you don't believe me, you can come here and keep an eye on me. There's no need. You've already hugged me, and you still ran to the bathroom. What's the point of me looking at you? Hug? What do you mean? Gao Ran looked baffled. Zhu Lingling hung up the call. Gao Ran was very anxious and called back, but Zhu Lingling refused to pick up. This really made him anxious. At this time, a male police officer also came out to use the toilet. Little Zhu, come here. Chief, what can I do for you? Here's 5,000 yuan in cash. Take it and pay the bill for me after dinner. If you want to go to the KTV later, I'll reimburse you tomorrow. What about you, Chief? I have an emergency at home. I have to go now. Oh, okay. Tell them I'll be leaving. Okay. Gao Ran left some money and drove home in a hurry. When he got home, he found his wife and child were not at home. Lingling, Buiyuan. Hearing no answer, Gao Ran called Zhu Lingling again. Still, no one answered. Gao Ran immediately called Huamin. To Gao Ran's surprise, they didn't go to his parents' home, Zhu Lingling's parents' home, or Huamin's home. Then, where did the mother and son go? At this moment, Zhu Lingling and Gao Buiyuan were in a five-star hotel suite in the suburbs. Mom, why don't we stay at Annie Huamin's home this time? Gao Buiyuan looked unhappy. Chapter 3948. You need to be creative when you run away from home. You can't go to the same place every time, right? Fine. Gao Buiyuan pouted, still not satisfied. When his mom said that they were running away from home, he packed his luggage excitedly. He thought he could go find Little Bean in a while, but to his surprise, his mom took him to this shabby place in a taxi. Are you hungry? I'll order takeout for you. No. Gao Buiyuan continued to complain to Little Bean on his cell phone. Zhu Lingling looked at the blinking screen on her cell phone and still wouldn't answer it. In fact, she knew nothing would happen to Gao Ran and Qin Yuning. She didn't know how the little bitch got such an intimate photo. But Zhu Lingling knew her man well. If something had happened to him, he would have done it long ago and wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. Gao Ran kept calling, but Zhu Lingling still wouldn't answer. Helpless, Gao Ran called a friend in the HQ. Director Gao, what can I do for you? Are you in the office? Yes, I'm on the night shift. Locate this cell phone number for me. Then Gao Ran gave him a string of numbers. Are you arresting someone? You should at least tell your superiors. No, it's my personal business. This is my wife's cell phone number. Huh? Did you have a quarrel with your sister-in-law? It's none of your business. Locate it for me. Fine, but I'll blackmail you for a meal of hairy crabs. It was obvious that this person had a good relationship with Gao Ran. They chatted and joked with each other. Zhu Lingling changed out of her pajamas in the bathroom. She was going to take a shower. At this moment, the cell phone in the hotel room rang. Mom, it's the phone. Coming. Curious, Zhu Lingling walked over and picked up the phone. Hello, Ms. Zhu. This is the front desk of the hotel. What can I do for you? Zhu Lingling was puzzled. When we registered, we found some problems with your information. We need you to come down and verify it. Damn it. Are you kidding me? I'm really sorry, but this is our hotel's rule. Sorry to trouble you. All right. After that, Zhu Lingling hung up the phone and put on her clothes in annoyance. Buiyuan, stay in your room. Don't go anywhere. Mom, where are you going? Gao Buiyuan looked up at his mother. I'll go down to the hotel lobby to fill in some information. All right. After that, Zhu Lingling opened the door and left. After his mother left, Gao Buiyuan immediately sent Little Bean a video call. Just as Little Bean picked up the video call, Gao Buiyuan suddenly heard a scream from outside the door. Boing. Little Bean said, Shoo. Little Bean, don't talk. I think I heard my mom's voice. Gao Buiyuan felt that something was wrong and wanted to open the door to see what was going on. Then, another voice came from outside the door. Let go of me, you bastard. Help! Gao Buiyuan's heart sank. It was indeed his mother's voice. Little Bean, what should we do? Something happened to my mom outside the door. Buiyuan, don't worry. Look through the peephole first. At her reminder, Gao Buiyuan immediately put his cell phone on the ground and moved a small stool over. Then he stood on the stool with his feet up and looked through the peephole. After looking carefully, he was frightened. A man wearing a black mask and a black baseball cap was pulling his mother's hair and dragging her into the fire escape. There was no one in the hallway. Maybe someone in the next room heard it, but couldn't tell. Gao Buiyuan jumped down in fright and picked up his cell phone. Little Bean, a bad guy is beating my mom. What should I do? No, I have to save her. He was so anxious that he almost cried. When he jumped down, he sprained his ankle but didn't feel any pain. What? Auntie Lingling ran into bad guys? On the other end of the video call, Little Bean was also dumbfounded. Chapter 3949. Yes, just outside the door. Mom's hair. The guy kept pulling her. Gao Buiyuan was still a kid and didn't speak clearly in a hurry. Little Bean was also anxious. At this moment, Pudding walked up behind Little Bean. Sis, look, what should we do? Annie Lingling and Buiyuan met a bad guy in the hotel. Let's go find Daddy and save them. Little Bean's hand trembled with fear as she held the cell phone. It's too late. They're too far away. Give me the cell phone. Pudding snatched the cell phone from Little Bean's hand and said to Gao Buyin, "Will you in? Don't worry. Listen to me. Find some matches right now. There should be some in the drawer. Then take a piece of paper and light it in the room. Be careful not to hurt yourself. There are smoke detectors in the hotel. As long as there's smoke, the alarm will automatically go off." Okay. I'll go right now." Gao Buyin was calm and quick-witted. After hearing Pudding's words, he immediately got up and ran to the drawer. Then he took out the matches and paper and lit them with trembling hands. At that time, his mind was blank and he just did it mechanically. But to his surprise, it really worked. 1 minute later, the whole hotel sounded the fire alarm. At this moment, Zhu Lingling had been dragged to the entrance of the corridor by the man and was about to be dragged into the dark and narrow space. Hearing the alarm on the whole floor, the man seemed to be scared. He suddenly let go of Zhu Lingling and ran down the stairs. There was an obvious bruise on Zhu Lingling's neck. She coughed violently and limped back to the carpet in the corridor. At this moment, Gao Buyin opened the door and rushed out. "Someone come quickly. Save me. Save my mother." The hotel staff also arrived at this moment. They immediately called the police. Unexpectedly, Gao Buyin was the first police officer to arrive. After receiving the location from his friend, he drove to the hotel. As soon as he entered, he heard the fire alarm. Then the whole hotel was in chaos. Of course, the culprit also took advantage of the chaos to escape. When Gao Ran picked up Zhu Lingling, she buried her head in his chest. She couldn't say a word, but she couldn't. After all, this was the first time she had experienced such a terrifying thing. She was scared silly. "I'm sorry, honey. I came late and scared you." Gao Ran blamed himself and lowered his head to kiss Zhu Lingling's forehead. Then, she carried him into the car and went to the hospital. Qin Chu and Huomin drove straight to the hospital. In the ward, she saw Zhu Lingling. "It's already so late, and I'm still troubling you. I'm so sorry." Zhu Lingling's voice was a little hoarse. "Don't be so courteous with me. You're scaring us to death." Huomin reached out and held Zhu Lingling tightly. "Your two little princesses are smart enough to order Buiyuan to sound the fire alarm. Otherwise, I will be a corpse now." "Huh. Ba, don't say such unlucky things." Those who survive a great disaster are bound to have good fortune in the future. Huomin comforted her. Pudding and Little Bean also came over and looked at Gao Buyin, who was also frightened. Sitting on the sofa in the ward, his small body seemed to be still in a daze. Little Bean ran over and gave Gao Buyin a bear hug. "Buyin, I'm glad you're okay. You're awesome. You did a good job." Only then did Gao Buyin raise his head to look at Little Bean, feeling a little better. "Little Bean, I was so scared. But after all, he had been wronged, so his eyes were full of tears. Don't cry. I brought you donuts." Before Gao Buyuin's tears fell, Little Bean stuffed a donut in her hand in his mouth. Pudding couldn't bear to look at the scene and quickly turn her head. "Annie Lingling, did you see the bad guy's face?" Pudding asked Zhu Lingling. Chapter 3950. "No, he was wearing a black mask the whole time. I was panicking and didn't pay attention to it." Zhu Lingling shook her head, still in shock. "I've checked the surveillance footage. I'll definitely find this scum and kill him. Damn it, how dare he bully my wife?" Gao Ran was really angry. He didn't like the feeling of his wife being bullied by others. A 5-star hotel shouldn't be so unsafe. "Lingling, did someone follow you when you drove out?" Huomin asked her. "I didn't pay attention to that." Zhu Lingling was a housewife and wasn't very alert. "Then, why did you suddenly open the door and go downstairs?" "The people downstairs told me that there was something wrong with my file and that I had to go downstairs to confirm it." Zhu Lingling tried to recall the situation. "Is there something wrong with the hotel?" Huomin was surprised. Gao Ran hurriedly said, "No. I've checked. The hotel staff didn't call Lingling. I think the suspect pretended to be a hotel employee and called to lure Lingling out. Then we should be glad that he didn't pretend to be a hotel employee to break into the room. After all, Buiyuan was still in the room." Huomin was a little scared at the thought of it. "Yeah, fortunately, My son is fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to live. At this point, Zhu Lingling's tears were still dripping down. This incident is weird. I don't think it's a sudden incident. Qin Shu didn't speak for a long time, thinking about the cause and effect of this incident. Anyway, I'll catch that guy. At this moment, Gao Ran's cell phone rang. He turned around and went out to answer the call. Huomin walked to the bedside and chatted with Zhu Lingling for a while. Before leaving, Qin Shu asked Gao Ran about the hotel surveillance footage. Gao Ran said that the hotel did record it, but the figure was too blurry and wearing a hat and mask at night. It was useless. They couldn't catch him with these. On the way home, Huomin thought carefully about his conversation with Zhu Lingling and then told Qin Shu, "Honey, we must find the guy who did this to Lingling. Gao Ran and I are looking for him. Gao Ran's method, but I don't think he'll find anything. You can send someone to investigate Chen Yuning. Do you think she has something to do with this incident?" Qin Shu was surprised. For some reason, Huo Mian suddenly mentioned Chen Yuning. "I just asked Lingling about what happened tonight. The only thing I think is connected is that Gao Ran went to a dinner party with Chen Yuning and other colleagues. Then Lingling got provoked by the photo and lost her temper with Gao Ran. Then Gao Ran went home, and Lingling ran away from home. I don't think it's a coincidence that Lingling was targeted as soon as she checked into the hotel. Logically speaking, Lingling didn't drive a luxurious car and didn't wear many brands. How could she be targeted? So you suspect that woman has something to do with all this?" "Yes, honey. Start with her. Investigate carefully. I want to catch the person who hurt Lingling." Huo Mian's expression was calm as she spoke. But in fact, she was in a state of shock. Lingling was her closest friend, and now she was almost hurt. There were deep strangulation marks on her neck and bruises on her wrists. She couldn't take it lying down. How crazy must the person be to hurt the mother and son? "Okay, leave it to me." Qin Shu knew his wife's analysis was always reasonable, so he nodded in agreement. Chapter 39:51. The next morning, Huomin and Qin Chu left together in the car, but they didn't go to the company. Instead, they went back to Southside. When the people at Southside saw Huomin, they were very excited. Vice Director is back. Vice Director, you're about to give birth, right? Where are you giving birth? Come back to Southside, okay? Everyone misses you." As soon as Huomin returned, she was surrounded by doctors and nurses. The bodyguard behind her stared at her nervously, afraid that something would happen to a young lady. "I'm back to do something. Everyone, go ahead. Don't worry about me." Huomin smiled and walked towards the DNA testing center. She didn't trust anyone else to do such an important thing. She was afraid that she would miss something. Therefore, Huomin did it herself. She took Xixin's hair and Uncle Jing's hair and carefully did a DNA comparison. When the results came out, she was dumbfounded. Huomin looked at the results with trembling hands. "How is this possible? How is this possible? Vice Director, is there anything I can help you with?" The appraiser behind her walked over. "Help me take a look at the results." Huomin really hoped that she was wrong. The man picked it up and looked at it. He smiled and said, "The results are obvious. These two are father and son. This is impossible. This is absolutely impossible." Huomin originally thought that after she got the results, she would be able to expose Uncle Jing's identity at any time. She wanted Jixin and her mother to wake up, but now, the results are different from what she had imagined. Huomin was greatly shocked. Perhaps because she was frightened, she rushed to the bathroom and vomited. "Vice Director, are you okay?" The assistant nurse was so scared that she kept patting her back. "I'm fine. It's a normal pregnancy reaction. You guys go ahead." "Vice Director, the obstetrics and gynecology department asked me to ask you if you need to arrange a prenatal checkup." Huomin felt very uncomfortable after vomiting. He waved his hand to show that he didn't want to go. Even when she left Southside, she was still in a daze. Huomin took the test report and went to the company immediately. "Madam, Assistant Yang was very happy to see Huomin every day. Where's my husband?" "President Qin is in a meeting. Do you need me to call him?" "No need. Let's wait until he's done." Huamin sat on the sofa with a heavy heart. She wasn't even in the mood to drink the warm milk that Yang had prepared for her. When Qin Shu finished his work and came out, he saw Huamin looking a little pale. "Honey, are the results out yet?" Huamin didn't say anything. Instead, he took out the report with a complicated expression and handed it to Qin Shu. Mr. Qin had studied medicine for many years, so he naturally understood these simple tests. What? They were father and son? How is that possible? Qin Shu was also shocked. Yeah, huh? How ridiculous. Back then, I can guarantee that Uncle Jing was completely dead. His body was badly damaged. When we went to the funeral parlor, we even said goodbye to his body. I'll never forget that scene for the rest of my life. Hubby, how can a dead person come back to life? Isn't it ridiculous? Should we go to the North Mountain Cemetery and see what's inside? No, Uncle Jing has already passed away and should be resting in peace. We can't disturb him because of the conspiracy of the living. Qin Shu wanted to open the coffin and examine the body. Although it had rotted over the years, the bones were still there. Huamin firmly disagreed. She knew that there was no need to open the coffin. Uncle Jing must be dead. That was the truth. Mian, what do you think now? Qin Shu knew that Huamin had always been quick-witted. He didn't know how she understood such a ridiculous thing. Chapter 3952. I think maybe Uncle Jing really has a twin brother. That's not impossible. I'll send someone to investigate Uncle Jing's background. Don't worry. Honey, there's been a lot of trouble recently. I've been feeling uneasy, as if something bad is about to happen. Huamin leaned her head on Qin Shu's shoulder tiredly. Don't think too much. I'm here for you. Qin Shu kissed her long hair and comforted her. Suddenly, Huamin screamed. Qin Shu was scared out of his wits. He hugged her tightly. Honey, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Your son is moving. Huamin had gotten used to the fetal movement in the past few months, but this was the first time she felt such a big movement. It felt as if there was a force in her stomach that was fiercely affecting her entire body. I wanted to say, Mommy, don't be afraid. I'm here for you. Mr. Qin mimicked his son's tone and teased Huamin. Finally, she wasn't so nervous anymore and smiled in relief. Could it be that this brat is also a bootlicker like his second sister? It's hard to say. Qin Shu's lips curled up slightly. Then our family is going to be lively. Mian, I've made an appointment with a designer. He'll come over later to draw for you. You should order a few outfits for our wedding. Otherwise, you won't have time when you give birth and are in confinement. Qin Shu actually wanted to distract Huamin so that she wouldn't be so nervous. Well, that's good too. I'll meet her later. This trick was indeed useful. The wedding was something that both of them were looking forward to. They had been married for a few years and almost had 3 children. However, they had always lacked a grand wedding. Back then, Huamin insisted on keeping their marriage a secret, which wronged Mr. Qin. Now, it was finally time to clear Mr. Qin's name. As for the wedding date, the two of them planned to wait until Huamin was out of confinement. However, some of the details of the wedding and the custom-made items had to be prepared in advance. Huamin had originally planned to use the things he had ordered 3 years ago. However, Qin Shu refused. He said that it was outdated and that she would feel wronged. Just like that, the two of them continued to research in secret without telling anyone. Qin Ning knew about it by accident, so she mentioned it that day and made Suyu sad for a long time. It was true that some people were happy while others were sad. House of Cicely Cece's parents were very happy to see their daughter back. They cooked delicious food for their daughter every day. Rick, on the other hand, had something to do and was about to leave. Go and do your work. Leave Cece to us, Cece's father said in the tone of an elder. Rick, on the other hand, was even more serious as he bowed to the 2 elders. Then I'll leave Cece in your care. Cece snickered. She had known him for a long time, but this was the first time she had seen him so well-behaved. Sure enough, he had improved after becoming a husband and father. Be a good girl at home and take care of the baby, Rick reminded Cece worriedly. Then when will you be back? Soon. No more than a week. A week? That's a long time. Then you have to call me every day, Cece said coquettishly. Okay, you have to bring gifts for me and the baby when you come back. Okay, then can you leave me some pocket money before you leave? I can't always eat my parents' food, right? Cece was joking on purpose. She didn't want Rick to leave, so she deliberately tried to find something to talk about and didn't want him to leave. Unexpectedly, Rick took out a black gold card from his pocket and put it in her hand. Then he said 3 words in a domineering tone, that you're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.